Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Megan Fox, a national journalist.
Mastodon. I will never be able to say that out loud.
It feels like the Flintstones live there.
It does.
Well, don't trust women. I think you just touched on that with your last. That's what they brought. We're going to have to bring back chaperones.
Jesus, no.
Just careful. Stop! Right! Ooh. Hard right.
How did you screw up a stove, Megan? You're a woman. I thought that was baked into you, like at the genetic level, how to operate kitchen equipment.
And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you.
You get Dino hanging out outside chewing on a large bone. I highly recommend being targeted by the New York Times and Rolling Stone for weight loss. And I'd say, keep it coming. I need to lose 20 more. Please, keep it coming.
Explain to me, Megan, why did this country not have a holiday once a year? That's the time you vote. If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. You don't get another chance. You don't get, I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake, crawl there. But that's it, 1 day, 12 hours, and then you're done. And you count them that day, and that night you know who the hell won.
I will eat you alive. You want to tangle? You want to go?
The only thing going through my head is, what are you going to do when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother?
He made a deal with the devil. She's the devil.
He wants that.
Oh, God. Gross! Oh! All right. Penalty box for Slug. Yep. Are you ready to behave yourself now, Slug?
This frustrating rep.
Are you ready to behave yourself? Repossessed puppies. I'm hiding Pork Chop. ASAP. Have you seen his little pork chop? Oh my God, Pork Chop is the cutest.
That sounds bad.
Have you seen it?
Pork. It's pork.
Though you may be tempted, do not contact any person or persons mentioned on this stream. Do not even think about contacting anyone who may be the topic of the daily news. If you should do that, the host will question your IQ, possibly call you names, and mock you for disobeying these basic rules of decency.
All the best.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's me, Megan Fox, your favorite medium smart journalist, and we are working on the Hernandez case. I know a couple of you in the chat have been like, if I haven't watched all 8 parts of this, should I go back and watch those first? No, stay here. We will catch you up. Don't worry. You can just jump wherever you are. Make sure you get your bingo cards ready. And coming to the stage with me now are my special guests. How's the Fluxx? How are ya? How's it going?
I'm doing well. I'm finished with school for the semester, done, and I'm good.
Yes. Did you get your grades back yet, or you still have to wait for that?
I'm still waiting for my final paper.
All right. Well, when you do, I have my special song queued up because I'm sure you're going to get an A.
Close. I'll be very if I don't, it's like by not even half a point.
Well, it's going to be whatever it is. It's going to be good enough. Medium smart is good enough, Fluxx. I think I've tried to impart this to you over and my own children, that medium smart's good enough. You know, C's and higher we're good with, really.
We have the saying, I don't need to be valedictorian. I'm just almost dictorian.
There you go. Almost dictorian is good enough. Also joining us today is Jennifer Williams with You Are the Power. How's it going today, Jen?
It's good. I'm having a good day. All 5 of my kids are here right now. So I got to hang out with them.
Children. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sorry that we're taking you away from them.
They're okay. They're having fun. They're hanging out and playing with the baby.
Aw, fun. Well, we are motoring along. We have bingo. It is linked to the top of the chat. If you want to play bingo with us, make sure you click on that bingo link and get it started. We have lots of squares that we're going to be looking at today. Should we look at the squares? Let's look at the squares. We play trial bingo here because this trial is horrible. It's horrible. But we like to try and make it as not horrible as possible by having things to laugh at. So, yeah, so let me share with you. We do have a couple of new bingo squares that I want to go over with you. So let's go over what we have. We have dumpster moment, hair talk, state lies, objection, didn't do nothing, Meg's blood pressure meds stopped working, bad hair, we all hate the prosecutor, river dancing, mic drop, what a dick, appropriate, loving parents, free space, what a bitch, judge does something annoying, fake words, blink rate anomaly, the C word, squunching, sex scandal face, Spider-Man meme, which is everybody's fault but mine, lazy investigator, Fluxx is going to get angry, muted boomer, demonstrative, they're making shit up, Megan hits wrong button, witch sighting, perjury, Fluxx pets cat, Fluxx chooses violence, for fuck's sake, unfucking real, what if anything, annoying hand gestures, baby stealer, ceiling cats, prosecution gets wrecked, red wiggle wiggle itch cough, Nick demonetizes the stream, which is going to be tough if he doesn't show up. Oink. Mr. Jingles attacks. That one also will be difficult if he doesn't show up. Catherine gives good face. Red flag. Big words. Bad pause face. Fluxx. Seething. Indiana Bones theme song. Pee break. Vocal fry. Nick's meat plate. What do you do here? Abnormal is normal. Minimizing problems. Chat hates witness. Witness cries. Low IQ. Fake job. Wall of shame. Mental illness. Problem glasses. Premature objectulation. 15 minutes of obligatory bullshit. Fluxx squalls out. And witness seething. So many options.
Nice.
Gracious.
We should time that sometime to see how long it takes to run through it and then see if you can do a speed run.
Just to go through the bingo, it takes the 15 minutes.
The 15 minutes. That's what I was going to say.
Oh my goodness. Now I'm feeling lightheaded after the no oxygen to my brain. You know, the answer to that is more keto brains. That's the answer to that. More keto brains solves the woohoos. And I'm drinking my keto brains today. Actually, there's just water in here. My keto brains is in the stainless steel mug because I like my coffee hot. And I don't know about you, but I find that in ceramic mugs, it's only good for cold beverages because everything gets cold in a ceramic mug. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. I drink cold coffee, so I do ceramic mugs, and I'm like, actually, yeah, no, they're pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, her ceramic mugs are fine for cold beverages, and that's what I'm using mine for, is for water. But my keto brains, which nootropics that I stir into my coffee, or you can put it in tea or chai tea or iced coffee, hot coffee, doesn't matter. You can stir it in. It helps you think straight, helps your mind, helps your brain wake up. It's got a bunch of good stuff for the brain. If you want to try it out, go to ketobrains.com, use my promo code MUG15 and you'll get 15% discount. If you want to subscribe and save, use my code MUGSUB and you'll be able to do that. Fluxx pets cat right off the bat.
Woo!
Plug it away here on the bingo. Go ahead and check off Fluxx pets cat.
Oh, she's being very needy today.
That noise.
Oh no.
Is that me?
What's happening?
Did it go away when I muted?
No.
I just heard a
gone
really
now,
weird
though.
sound.
Wow, that was super weird. I don't know what that was. Okay, anyway, ghost on the stream. That is not on the bingo
That
card.
was weird.
What did you hear, Fluxx?
It was like a static.
Yeah, like almost a high-pitched frequency static.
That was Jeff. Jeff did it. We don't have Jeff did it on the bingo card.
Wow, that was weird.
Who's faxing stuff, says Nick. Why aren't you here? Where are you? Get in here. Sticky, you do not have bingo already. Stop it. We've only called one square. I know you're cheating. If you don't have Fluxx Pet's cat, that happens because there's so many. There he is. There's so many options on the bingo card. It says
Was that you? What did you do?
No, it wasn't me.
He survived his birthday stream, everyone. I wasn't going to. Holy cow. I was coming back. I was on my way up the stairs to come back to the stream to show you a hilarious video for your birthday. And
I would not have remembered it.
You killed the stream before I could. Do you want to see what I was going to show you?
Yes.
Because this is.
By the way, if you want, why am I a little low here? It's not because the camera changed angle. It's because I accidentally destroyed, the hydraulics in my chair.
Of your chair?
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't do that. Are you sure it wasn't Mr. Jingles that did that?
Oh, of course it was. Big old Mr. Jingles clawed through the metal, and this chair is supposed to hold 400 pounds. It doesn't. Now, in all its defense, I've had this chair for over 2 years. Which is probably a record.
Nice.
Well, why? You've killed all your other chairs before 4 years?
Either me or Mr. Jingles.
Well, I don't believe for 1 second that you weigh 400 pounds.
No. It doesn't hold barely holds 300 pounds, which I'm just under.
Is it a Batman chair?
It's
it's a Viking chair. See, it's some sort of Viking.
That's way better. That's way better.
It's
that's cool.
Diablo chair. Or Viking.
All right, are you ready for this, Nick? Are you ready? This was your birthday present I was going to give you. This is the best thing you're ever going to see. All right, everybody, get ready.
I'm not a murderer. I'm not a killer. I'm a regular person like everybody in this room. I'm not gay as what the prosecutor want me to be. Not a gang member. I love sports. I'm a people person. I didn't intentionally meant to kill the guy about the road rage. It was a slap, not an assault. Sorry about what happened. Can't bring it back. About the doctor stuff, just because I took the plea, don't mean I did it.
Watch his lawyer.
I'm tired of keep saying that I'm some gay killer or gay person and a gang member in the same breath.
Yeah, you're fucked.
That don't even mix. It's impossible.
He can't take a plea deal if he claims he didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
Yeah, that plea deal's gone.
That plea deal.
Oh my god.
Sorry about what happened. I didn't mean to do it. Oh no.
Wait, did you catch the I'm not gay?
Yeah.
Gay and a gang member. You can't be both. I'm like,
impossible.
I didn't know that.
Wait, we got now. Listen, we have to watch it through one more time, and I want you to pay close attention to his lawyer.
Yeah.
Watch the lawyer.
I like to say I'm not a murderer, I'm not a killer. I'm a regular person like everybody in this room. I'm not gay as what the prosecutor want me to be.
She just started twitching. She is now twitching.
Not a gang member. I love sports. I'm a people person.
Gonna throw up.
I didn't intentionally meant to kill the guy about the road rage. It was a slap, not an assault.
She's shaking her head. No. Don't do it. Don't say it. Don't.
Sorry about what happened. Can't bring it back. About the doctor stuff, just because I took the plea, don't mean I did it. I'm tired of keep saying some gay killer or gay person and a gang member in the same breath. That don't even mix. It's impossible.
It's impossible, Nick.
That's
really?
That's all I gotta really say.
You can't be a gang member and gay.
Really?
Apparently, they never saw West Side Story. When you're a jet all the way.
To be fair, I've never been in a gang. nor do I feel like I could join a gang.
Oh, you
Angel
know all members of Mr. Jingo's Viking Thugs.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
like Angelfish says, I love sports, convinces me.
So random.
Well, he's trying to, prove he's not gay. By the way, I read about this case. He is most definitely gay. Or if he isn't gay, he did a whole lot of gay shit. Okay, there were 4,000 text messages between him and his victim that were all about the gay shit that they were doing. So, yeah.
Oh.
It was not a road
Maybe
rage
it was the
incident
one.
thing.
We are very good friends who occasionally have sex.
But
kind of thing.
possibly.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is gay as fuck.
100%.
100% gay.
100%.
Oh, they found the victim. I like that he calls it a road rage incident. They found the victim naked except for socks, rolled up in a carpet in his attic. So I don't know how that translates into road rage exactly.
It was a slap, not an assault.
It was a gunshot wound to the head, is what it was.
Real okay, yeah. Did they accidentally admit to another crime? Did he understand what
Was that
happened?
a different?
What?
Wait,
oh,
and he-
it's this
the
murder, not that
neurosurgeon?
murder. Whoopsie.
Maybe, because it sure didn't sound like the surgeon that he killed, because the surgeon that he killed was found rolled up in a carpet in his attic.
Oh.
But
So
I mean, if they can claim that the back of Karen Reed's car can cause bite marks, it can roll people up in carpets.
well, that's true. That's true. I mean,
Fair point. Fair point.
you should get blue pink eye on it, because I bet he could prove it was road rage, not road range. That doesn't make any sense. All right. All right. 15 minutes of obligatory bullshit is now done. We are ready to move on to this trial. You may check off 15 minutes of obligatory bullshit as we watch this bitch in this horrible
Does thy
shirt.
mother know you are weareth her drapes?
Her curtains. Does mother know that thou wearest her drapes?
As a remodeling.
This is Amber Borders. She is a trauma nurse who was called in to look at Emma Hernandez. I'm not sure she ever did actually look at her, though. I think she just listened to the other doctors and then signed off on more child abuse accusations. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. I don't really care. I just want to get to Stephen Messner, who comes after her. So we're going to speed her up a little bit. In fact, how fast should we speed her up? Let's start with 1.25. We need to get through this.
Any of these situations, you would expect high platelets. Okay, and then the lipase result was normal as well, right? It's on the very low end of the range.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's actually a good thing, right? Because
Yeah.
a high lipase level would indicate that some kind of trauma had been inflicted in kind of the mid area of the body.
lipase is part of our LFTs, our liver function enzymes. If one of those was elevated, we would be concerned with the blunt abdominal trauma.
Okay, but that wasn't an issue here.
No, hers wasn't.
That. Okay.
Very, very normal test results,
So
except for the
there was
abnormal stuff.
no indication of blunt force trauma.
Oh, great.
Good.
That's good to know.
Low lipase. So the lipase is normally elevated when there's blunt force trauma. There wasn't any.
Just put on the continuous IV drip of prescription vitamin D. Am I reading that that medication list correctly? The D5 NS plus 20.
That's usually yes, she was put on that.
Okay, and that's it says continuous. So she would
pause
have to
real
do an
quick?
IV drip of
Okay,
vitamin
hold
D.
on.
No.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, so when I was in the service, after I got stationed at Fort Bliss, I got messed up. I have terrible bones. Apparently I have issues. Well, I had stress fractures in my knees and hips. They put me on vitamin D. It was a really high dosage, and that cleared up within like 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm just now I'm like, these it's making me more angry because it's these people. They know what the baby had issues with. They fixed the issues and the baby got better.
Yeah.
And they act like
they're
what?
still blaming
What?
the parents.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we went through this in the Tim's case as well.
Yeah.
I remember we were talking about this, and I showed you guys in the baby formula and all the stuff. It's always enriched with vitamin D over here, mostly because it's dark half the year. But we learned, vitamin D. You have the vitamin AD drops, which are proposed to be given to all newborns. I mean, there's so much.
Well, they put her on an IV of vitamin D, so not even just like a Medicaid, which they sent her home, and they gave the aunt and uncle the vitamin D drops, and so that was in June. The aunt and uncle were still doing it through July, and when I had them in August, they were sent to my house to still give them to Emma. So that's like high dose in IV, and then they're still giving.
Well, they were making sure they were making sure they got rid of her disorder so it couldn't be noticed while she was out of her parents' care.
It's like, how long have we been studying medicine and babies, and like not having enough vitamin D is still shocking?
We do not have cat pets Fluxx on the bingo card, and I should have.
She's being very clingy today.
Is everyone seeing this? Because Fluxx is getting pet by the cat, which I did not see. She stopped now, but it was really funny for a minute there.
If I tried that with Mr. Jingles, he would claw my throat off.
He would open your jugular if you tried. All right, Fluxx is going to get angry. I think we can check that off safely.
Yeah.
And also Fluxx pets cat, 15 minutes of obligatory bullshit, and on we go.
No, vitamin D was given orally.
Okay, so when it says frequency continuous,
that is for the IV. So it's D5, so dextrose with normal saline. That's what we give kids to keep them hydrated overnight. Usually on admit, we give them fluids because if they have let's say they have some injury that they may go to the operating room, they are not going to be able to eat. So we always give them continuous fluids.
All her fractures
The
were
nurses typically stop those
healing,
fluids.
in different stages of healing. Why would you give her these?
Preparing for surgery just in case.
Right? I'm like, what are you preparing? What surgery? It's fractures.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you might have surgery with compound fractures or something.
There was no surgery.
But there wasn't. No.
What? Just in case somebody jumped in the window and boom.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
If the child is eating.
Okay. And so were they stopped at any point, the fluids?
I don't have it written down, but I'm sure they were stopped at some point.
Well, and let me rephrase that question in a better way.
Why don't you have it written
when
down?
they were stopped?
I do not.
Okay. All right, so you were working with Dr. Olszewski, the ortho.
Yes, we work with her team.
Okay. And then also Dr. Nwakabu
Yes.
as well,
Yes.
who was an ortho resident at
Yes.
the time. And a resident, I think a resident is actually a doctor, but they're still kind of in a little bit of a training
Yes.
period. Is that fair to say?
Yes, he was training to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Okay. And so Dr. Nwakabu and Dr. Olszewski both spent a fair amount of time working on Emma Hernandez's case. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Okay.
And then, so Dr. Clifton was also somebody that you were working with. Is he on the trauma team?
Yes, he's the chief of surgery at Children's.
And so he is one of the doctors who on June 7th, he placed an attestation in the record, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so his attestation describes his impression. He did not actually make a diagnosis at that stage, did he?
No.
Okay. So at what stage was a diagnosis made of Emma Hernandez?
The diagnosis of her fractures?
Well, any diagnosis?
Nobody knows.
I mean, as a trauma team, our diagnosis is what we see on skeletal survey, on any type of imaging. If there's
All right, the chat is calling out Dr. Nwakabu. Sounds like a Bond villain, but also unpronounceable doctor names. Is that still on the bingo card? I might have taken that off. I don't think it is. I should have left it on, but I don't think I did. So sorry, chat, you don't get that one.
fracture, we diagnose that as a fracture.
Okay.
It's not our job to diagnose non-accidental
That's
trauma.
not my job.
So, and thank you. You anticipated my question. So trauma team does not make a diagnosis of.
Who the hell does make these diagnoses? We still can't get to the bottom of it.
We still can't
can we?
figure it out. Two trials now. We don't know.
I'm calling Spider-Man meme.
And I'm still a bit furious because non-accidental trauma should mean more than
we don't
abuse. Yeah, it is.
Or-
We it's not an accident. We have to find out what it is, as in fucking diagnose it.
Yeah, they don't want to do that. They clearly don't want to do that.
Child abuse or non-accidental trauma.
No, we just admit the child and help the services work together.
Help
Oh,
the services
Lord.
work together.
God, that's an ugly blouse.
Okay,
I'm just.
and
I can't
Dr.
even.
Dr.
I can't
Dr.
focus.
Wahoo, Dr. Olszewski.
I know it's bad. May the 4th be with you also, chat. Yes. And with you, chat. And with you.
Were there any other doctors who were involved
And
over
with your
these 2
spirit.
days that you were working with them directly?
I believe Dr. Short, who was another one of our trauma surgeons, saw the child with me at one point.
And then you already mentioned Dr. Messner.
Yes.
Do you recall kind of when Dr. Messner came into the case?
I believe the ER called him the night Emma arrived to the ER before. Typically, they'll do whatever imaging. If they are concerned, they will call child advocacy and get their their recommendation, and then we follow up with them if there's any other orders they want or when they're going to see the child. So typically, the next day.
Cat pushes wrong button was also not on my bingo card.
No, it's I have a chopstick for my hair and she just threw it off the table. It's metal.
I heard it sounded like a bell.
You have it, but I think it's Mo's cat who mutes.
That's true. It's usually Mo's cat. We took it off though because Mo hasn't been able to join us because she's doing the other trial.
Say, I'm going to see this child. And that's about the extent of it.
Okay, and so Dr. Messner is part of the child advocacy team?
He is.
Okay. And I think you mentioned in your discharge summary, and so the discharge summary was on June 8th at 5:50 p.m. And this is after the child has been removed from the custody of the parent, right? Or
it looks like it, yes.
Okay. And so, and you put in the hospital course that vitamin D found to be low, otherwise labs reassuring.
Yes.
And is that even though the platelets and the fibrinogen and the D dimer were high?
Yes.
Is that
They're still reassuring because it's of no clinical significance.
okay?
That we would.
Again,
Her facial
abnormal.
expressions are her facial expressions are getting weird. You see her mouth is like getting shaky. She interrupted Catherine.
Are we at wiggle wiggle itch cough yet?
To me it is.
I definitely think abnormal is normal, and yeah, we'll do wiggle wiggle itch cough too. So abnormal is normal, and wiggle wiggle itch cough.
Those labs to all be elevated with a child that has multiple fractures.
Her voice is shaking too.
So, can it be concerning for anything else?
I mean, possibly, maybe.
What?
But we can't chance it. We got to just take her from the parents.
Well, look at her. Would you watch her bottom lip, please? It's shaking. Watch this.
Yes.
And also blink rate anomaly. I'm calling it. Watch her bottom lip. What the hell is that?
And then you also in your
What is she doing?
discharge
She looks
summary,
nervous.
you noted that her blood pressure was a little bit high, and I think that result pops up a couple of times in the record, right?
Yeah.
Is that unusual for a child who is
Not really.
in this stressful situation?
No, because typically they don't want their any type of extremity touched. They're fighting. High blood pressure sometimes too also equals pain.
So she
We see,
reacted
kids have a higher blood pressure when they're in pain.
with high blood
And
pressure and stress from being taken away from the parents.
Right.
Home.
Yeah.
Right?
Fucking home.
Just like Jameson, it was the same thing. His blood pressure skyrocketed.
It's been proven in studies that baby's blood pressure spikes when mom is taken away. So they've studied
How is it that none of these doctors know this? Like,
and
what did you go to school for, ma'am?
And their blood pressure, infants' blood pressure goes down when mom is in the room talking to them. So like in the neonatal unit, they did studies of babies in the neonatal in the NICU. You know, they studied their vitals when mom was out of the room and when mom was in the room, and they would stabilize with mom being in the room talking. So if they can hear her voice, they feel better and their vitals get better. Like almost all the time.
She was at the pediatrician hours before this, and the pediatrician would have done all of these things. They always check the baby's vitals. There was no problems. It's not until they take custody of the baby.
Yep. Also, minimizing problems. I think we can check off the card.
She was
well and stealing babies. You can call stealing babies.
Baby stealer.
Yeah.
Great. And neurologically grossly attacked, awake and alert, normal gait for age. And that's kind of normal leg movement because I guess she wasn't walking yet.
Now, chat, I'm going to warn you that if you use up your chat hates witness now, you will not have that for when Dr. Messner comes onto the stand. And trust me, folks, you want to wait.
Well,
I need a red flag for bingo.
Okay, you need red flag. All right, well, we haven't seen one just yet. Fluxx, your keyboard sounds like like elephants stampeding across the Sahara. Are there elephants in the Sahara? I don't know.
I'll mute that.
Okay.
Yes, the legs that you observed.
Yes.
Okay. And then so at this point, she was in a soft splint. And on vitamin D supplementation.
Yes.
Was there any other intervention or treatment that you recommended or performed or thought should have been performed?
No.
And was there anything else about this first visit to Showa that we haven't talked about already about your interactions with Emma Hernandez?
I don't believe so.
So then you didn't have any other contact with Emma Hernandez until July 10th, right?
Correct.
And she was brought back to Showa by her aunt and uncle who had custody of her, right?
I believe so, yes.
And so they brought her in because they were concerned about the marks on her legs, right?
Correct.
And
what's she looking for?
Perform the exam again.
Yes.
And some similar results in terms of generally well appearing.
Yeah, I mean, she looked good except for the marking on the legs that we went over.
And had anybody mentioned any camping trips where she got any bug bites?
I do not remember that conversation.
And this is the point where, well, actually, I'm sorry. So at what point did you get the lab results back for the von Willebrand, the OI, the bone labs, et cetera?
Those typically take a very long time to come back. I don't think.
So you get enough time to remove the child.
I don't remember
Months.
that exam. And again, we weren't the primary service on this visit, so I don't remember when that came back.
So the trauma
do
team was
you
not
know?
the primary service?
She's so
Not on the second
uncomfortable.
No.
So were you
As
involved
well
in
she
the
should
attempts to
be.
place a feeding-
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the attempts to place a feeding tube? in
No.
Emma?
Wait a minute. They
Yeah.
gave her a feeding
Yeah.
tube?
Yes, guys.
Excuse me, what now?
Because she was not taking to bottles very well. When
Well, yeah,
the aunt,
because she was
uncle had-
breastfed.
Yes, and so Tony and Took had to go out and buy like a dozen different bottle nipples to try and get her to take a bottle.
Yep, I've lived this. I had to buy one that looked just like a boob. It was
Yeah,
bizarre.
and
It was the only
went
one I
through a
could get her
lot.
to take. And even then, she hated it. She didn't want it.
And we're still unsure. I don't know if they ever, maybe we'll find out through this trial, but it's in her records that she was placed on a feeding tube during this time. And she was also left in the hospital for 6 days during this time. Like Aria went alone to the foster care home and they
Oh my
left
God.
Emma. No family was allowed to visit her. And they left her in there for
And
6 days.
they actually did put her on a feeding tube?
Yeah, that's what's in the records, but I don't know if we ever got clarity that it happened.
How long did they have her on it? Do we know?
I think the 6 days. I mean, that's what's in the records is 6 days. But here, it's like no one really can answer if it really happened or not. Like Amber's like, I don't know. I don't know if they did it or not.
Wow. That is insane.
And did you know or discover any of the gastrointestinal stuff that was going on with her with the constipation?
No.
So who was the primary team that was handling Emma at that time?
The general pediatrics team. Prior to probably a year ago, we sometimes would split admits with that service because our trauma service was so busy and their service was so busy with COVID and other viral illnesses. Now we admit every single child for
COVID in 2023. Amber, stop it.
Up to a year ago, she said that would make it 2024. We were 2 years out of it by then.
This one.
They want to blame everything.
They blame everything. Everything.
The courts do the same thing. Oh, we're so backed up because of COVID. Like, it's 2026. It's been 6 fucking years. Can we get over it already? Like, please. There's no excuse.
Poor Fonnie Willis in Fulton County. They still have, I believe, over 4,000 untested grape kits.
Oh, poor Fanny. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just so put upon.
Yeah.
And okay, so everyone gets admitted for 24 hours at least.
Under trauma, if they have any type of fractures, bruising, anything like that. Yeah.
So when you mentioned in your testimony with the state a little bit earlier that the reason y'all work with a consult team is because there's a chance it's not child abuse. Can you expand on that a little?
Yeah, I mean, we work with trauma is a multi-system injuries typically. I mean, we see kids with multiple injuries, and trauma is a huge umbrella that, you know, if you're in a car accident, you may have a broken leg, you may have abdominal injury. Like, our surgeons focus on the belly, ortho focuses on the legs, the arms, any type of bones. Child advocacy focuses on non-accidental trauma. Plastics focuses on the face, the skin. So we are the umbrella that all these services work together.
Gotcha. So trauma is the umbrella over all of those, including child advocacy. But you also, I mean, you want to find out what's going on with the child so that you can help them be healthy and safe, right?
Correct. But when you have a child come in that has, let's say, a fracture of their arm, but then they have a vitamin D level that's low, or they have, let's say, swelling on their head, or let's say in some cases they have a skull fracture, ortho is not going to admit a kid that has other injuries outside of their focus. Trauma admits everything that has multi-system injuries.
Okay. And so Emma was she admitted to ortho for the consult with Dr. Olszewski?
No, she will never be admitted to ortho.
Okay, why not?
Because ortho focuses on ortho. They focus on fractures. They don't want to be involved in other, you know, things that we're looking into. They don't want to be involved, you know, with other.
She's like, we already put in non-accidental trauma. So unfortunately, yeah, there you go.
But even
right
if,
there.
wait a minute, even if it's not, okay, so what? If it's abuse and she has fractures, why wouldn't ortho be involved in the fractures? What?
Because
they refuse to be involved in cases that involved what alleged child abuse? That doesn't even make any sense.
You know, it was taken from them. That's why their orthopedic surgeon didn't get called to this trial. You know that they came in and said, well, we think it's done. Because in the records, Megan, it says this Dr. O said, give vitamin D, send home. That's what their orthopedic surgeon wanted. They wanted to send Emma home. But give her vitamin D, put her in the splint, send her home. But they wanted non-accidental trauma.
Wow. So just do the orthopedic surgeons get called into that? No, of course not. Of course not.
Interesting, right?
They're focused on their service. So our typical protocol is we admit their injuries. We admit all of their injuries. I would say 80% of their injuries, except for the kid that falls off a trampoline and only has a supracondylar, and it was witnessed by multiple people, which is an elbow fracture.
Okay. Well, and if you could just clarify for me,
sure.
you said she would never be admitted to ortho because they focus on fractures?
I'm sorry, because that is their only focus. They focus on broken bones. They focus on healing bones. Our practice is to focus on all.
But that's what she had.
Specialties together. So like if you're considering non-accidental trauma, if you're considering something that goes along with the head, if you're considering any type of anything, it goes to trauma.
Gotcha. But was there any reason other than the fracture they were considering non-accidental trauma?
I mean, no, she's only a child that doesn't speak. So no. Vitamin D, which is ortho, but I guess what I'm saying, let me recruit. So
what are you saying?
If you're considering non-accidental trauma, ortho typically does not admit these kids. It would be trauma.
There you have it.
Well, and I guess, what I'm trying to get at with my question is that feels like it might be a bit of like a circular process with the non-accidental trauma of you suspect non-accidental trauma because of the fractures you've identified, but then she's not going to go to the department that focuses on fractures because you suspected the non-accidental trauma because of the fractures.
Hey, listen, I have what?
That's exactly what I was trying to say. What in the actual fuck?
Can I choose violence now? Can I choose violence now?
Fluxx chooses violence. It's been called.
Nobody has there. Has there never been such a need for a bitch slap?
Has
there ever been such a need?
We're calling it. What a bitch. Oh my God. This is crazy. And I was wanting to save my what a bitch for Dr. Messner. Damn it. Too late, but I couldn't help it. It had to be called.
Typically not going to admit a kid or an adult with all the injuries. That is typically going to go to trauma. It doesn't make sense to me. Sometimes I don't want to admit their kids, but we do. That is our policy. That's our protocol. We admit all their kids for at least 24 hours. If in 24 hours all her labs are normal, she looks great. All she has is multiple fractures, and they want to keep her, and we think she can go home.
If a child falls off a scooter and breaks their arm, I fell off my scooter because that happened to my neighbor. In this hospital's policy, keep them for 24 hours because even though they have all these people who watch the child fall and break their arm because we were all scootering together, you have to keep them for 24 hours because it's a child.
That's what she's saying, and I wonder if that's ever caused any badly healing fractures, because some fractures have to be seen and treated immediately.
Well, that gives them more time to accuse the parents of what they want to accuse. Once that non-accidental trauma goes in, you can see all the other departments are no longer needed or necessary. It's like now we're taking over.
Yeah, we can't have the specialists here who might find out what it's actually about.
Right. Precisely. So people stay away from CHOA. Like, unless your child, they are a great hospital. Like, there are good doctors, good surgeons, good nurses who love kids and want to help. There's no doubt.
Well, it sounds like if you're in an emergency, though, you shouldn't go there.
Emergency room is the problem because the caps and the trauma are in the ER 100%.
Yeah, it sounds like if you get
surgery or cancer,
if you get referred there, but to see a specialist, it sounds like it would be okay. But if you go for trauma, don't do it. Don't go to that ER. Go somewhere else because this doesn't.
That seems like such a waste.
Their
of
default is that every child is abused. That's the default that they're telling you right now. That is where they start. All children with trauma are considered abuse until they rule it out instead of the other way around. They should be trying to rule out everything else, but that's not what they're doing.
Right. Then we transfer it to their care.
Okay. Did y'all find anything except the fractures on the visit in June?
Just the vitamin D.
Okay, which would be related to the fractures?
I mean, it could be, it could not. It's possible that it could be, it's possible that it could not be. It could be two different things.
Okay. Well, I
which means it's not fucking abuse. If it could be
practitioner, but thank you very much for your time and thank you for your service.
Cross-examination.
All right, well, here comes Steve. Let's see what Steve's going to do. Oh, man, she's so uncomfortable.
I want to turn your attention to the defendant's do you mind if I help with the show going on there? there's orders, it seems like you're really used to orders, right, in the hospital setting. You will certainly agree that orders from physicians are very important. You would agree with that?
Sure.
Okay. I wanted to turn your attention to page 198 in that volume there in front of you.
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay. And it states all orders on the top, is that correct?
Yes.
And it's basically for the June 6th and June 7th visit, 2023, is that correct?
I don't see it. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Well, we can go through it, if it changes, we'll notice. Okay. So, can you show me, I'll just represent to you that this video is here to go from page 198 to page 208. If you want to take a look, see if you would agree with me on that.
Okay. Yes.
And can you show me a single order that was put in by Dr. Messner on any of these pages from 198 to page 208? I'm just trying to move on a little bit back.
On 20.
I love this part where they make them fumble around and look for things that aren't there.
There's orders.
Yeah, there's a bunch of orders there with Dr. Messner, but the status on those orders, let's start with the magnesium order there.
Yeah.
It says that it was discontinued, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then also the phosphorus order, the one below that, it states that that order was also discontinued. And then the von Willebrand profile, the one before that, it says status discontinued.
Yes.
And it says a factor 9 assay lab test. Below that one, it says status discontinued.
Yes.
And those are the orders, I believe, the only orders that were put in by Dr. Messner during this time period, but it appears that they were all discontinued. Is that fair to say, based on the record?
On the record, yes.
Okay. Also, I'd like to turn your attention to page 203, since you're in that area there.
Sure.
And you testified about a urinalysis, and you said that urinalysis was ordered by Dr. Messner, but it's my understanding that the urinalysis, it was ordered by Dr. Matthew Clifton.
I did not testify about the urinalysis.
Oh, I thought you testified that Dr. Messner ordered a urinalysis.
I don't think I said anything about the urinalysis.
Okay. What is a urinalysis without reflex to culture anyway? What is that?
That's when typically you get a urine specimen, whether you cath or the child pees, and then they send it for cultures.
Okay. Would you agree on page 203, one way or the other, that that certainly was not ordered by Dr. Messner, right?
No, it's ordered by our trauma team.
Okay. I also want to turn your attention to page 213 in the records. I believe it's the labs.
Okay.
And if we just start, it's kind of towards the middle of the page, but just below the middle of the page, it starts, I believe, on page 203.
203 or 213?
Oh, 213, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Now, the fibrinogen level, the normal reference range for fibrinogen is 200 to 400.
Yes.
And Emma's fibrinogen level was 448, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the D-dimer units, the normal reference range, at least on this, is 0 to 220, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then it lists there that her D-dimer units is 1,778.
That's correct.
Okay. And then if you could read the comment below D-dimer into the record.
Did you ask me to read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. D-dimer results should not be used to exclude DVT, deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, since the test has not been evaluated for our pediatric population.
Okay. So even in your own records there, it mentions that there can be other issues to consider, fair to say?
Sure.
With regards to a high.
For fuck's sake! For fuck's sake! I can't with these people. There's all these other reasons, and it's in the record, but for sure it's just abuse, though. What?
I want to know how they ruled these out. Like what further tests they did, what they did to make sure the baby's okay to rule them out.
Nothing.
They did
How
not
much
do anything else.
They didn't do it. See, I told you. I could have told you that, and I didn't know. There are 150 of you here on YouTube. I don't know how many of you are on Rumble. Let's see if there's anybody on Rumble. Who's on Rumble? Yeah, there are people on Rumble. What's up, Rumble Ghetto? Make sure that you hit the thumbs up on whatever platform you're watching this on, and subscribe if you have not already subscribed. We are playing bingo. Let me call off for you the squares that have already been called. Fluxx pets cat. For fuck's sake. Fluxx chooses violence. Wiggle, wiggle, itch, cough. Baby stealer. Abnormal is normal. Minimizing problems. 15 minutes of obligatory bullshit. Free space. What a bitch. Fluxx is gonna get angry. And Spider-Man meme. Oh, I forgot to open Super Tips. By the way, Super Tips is available. I have new voices in there. I don't know if you know this, but I'm so excited. We have Super Tips. Hold on, what is that?
It's doing the thing again.
Is it me or who is it? Is it me?
I didn't hear it this time.
Oh my God. It was light this time. I didn't hear it very loudly. Supertip.gg. Hold on. All right. So I have a new voice. We have Judge Grudge is available. And also, if you send a super tip that is $20 or higher, it interrupts the show. That's a lot of fun. So if you want to derail the show, you can do that. And you can also, I turned on super tip images. That's right. You can share memes for $5 on super tips. Supertip.gg/Megan Fox. And it's a lot of fun, supports the show. But also, if you are going to send money, and you don't need to send it to me, you can send it to the Hernandez Fund, which the mods have been very kindly placing in the chat. So if you are going to send something to me, throw something over to their fundraiser as well to help them pay the exorbitant and very high legal bills that the state of Georgia forced on them without their consent.
Yeah, and Megan, Jonathan already sent Steve 2 separate payments, one from last week, and he sent him another one today. And Steve called Jonathan this morning to say thank you. So it just feels really good to know, like, that money that everyone is giving these complete strangers who do not know Steve or the Hernandez family. Steve is a really awesome guy. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a soccer coach. He's amazing. Just a nice, good guy. And he deserves to get paid for the awesome work he did.
He does deserve to get paid. And you know what? That's the thing. We believe in paying good attorneys for their work. And, you know, they've done a lot of sacrificing in order to represent these families without being paid up front. And so, you know, it's a wonderful thing that we can help them right now. Oh, the fundraiser is at $480. That's wonderful, guys. Chat, you're amazing. You know, we started at 0 just when we started this, and now it's up to $480. We are looking at trying to raise $19,000. It was a $20,000 goal. We're looking to raise the entire amount to pay both Catherine and Steve what they are owed, which is not bad. That is not bad between 2 lawyers. Like, not bad at all. So and they've done such a good job. So please do visit that.
And I do want to point out, Matt and Tuckey have already made a lot of payments. This isn't like what they owe, and they're not, like, Tuckey already paid Steve a bunch of money. Tuckey paid her juvenile attorney $30,000. So this is just criminal. And
this
Matt
is just
already
what's
paid.
remaining.
Yeah, this is just what's left.
Just what's left for the criminal trial. And of course, we want them to get paid, and we want to encourage them. We want to encourage Steve and Catherine to keep taking these cases and to let them know that they will not starve, that we will make sure they can buy their groceries, and because they should be able to. And it's not okay that the parents have to shoulder the entire burden, though. But if we can all just pitch in $5 or whatever, $5 a week maybe, to help out, we'll get it done. And when we hit $5,000, because that was the first goal, we're going to make a new video where we go crazy with chainsaws. And Jennifer's so excited about the chainsaw video. She's much more excited than the river dancing video. I can tell. She's like, yeah, I want to destroy some shit with a chainsaw. And if you're wondering why chainsaws, well, that's because the DCF worker that they put in charge of this case had a mental breakdown on social media with a chainsaw and destroyed some of her husband's furniture. And they still let her take children away from families. Yep, that's Georgia DCF for you. We'll play that video again sometime soon because it's really funny.
Quick question. Is that going to be our new thing whenever we cover a trial? We're going to do something ridiculous that either one of the doctors or CPS workers did. We're just going to do a video mockery for a fundraiser.
Yes,
because I'm down.
I'm down. I think we should.
I'm
I
down.
think we should do it. I think we should definitely do it. Ronan says,
Dr. Messner,
I never wonder why chainsaws. I might wonder why not chainsaws.
on June 6th or June 7th of 2023, was he authorized to even come in and treat Emma at this time?
What do you mean authorized?
Well, I don't see an order number for Dr. Messner to be able to come in and actually treat the patient, or any orders from Dr. Messner that he's being allowed to come in and treat Emma at this time.
Yeah, if you look at page 203, at the top of the page, consult to child advocacy, signed by me, 6/6/1843.
So are you the one that brings Dr. Messner into the case then? Is that fair?
Sometimes, yes. Typically, it's our ER consulting them, the ER doctors prior to us being involved. Sometimes we're already involved, but the ER doctor calls them.
So you would agree that you work pretty closely with Dr. Messner on these cases?
Sometimes, yes.
Now, I heard you testifying about the orthopedics, and that the orthopedics really, if you return to page 141, please. My understanding is
So,
initially there were 2 orthopedics
wait a
that showed
minute.
that were involved in this.
So she's Dr. Messner's bitch. Is that what I'm understanding? You're the one who called Messner into this? Yeah, and you work with him on lots of cases. Oh, you're Messner's bitch. I got it.
Yeah. Because she could consult others, but she called for specifically Dr. Messner.
Yeah, Dr. Messner. It seems like she's done this before.
Case, that's, Dana, is that Dr. O? Okay, that's Dana Ozweski, and she's with the orthopedics. Is that right?
Yeah, she's the attending.
Okay. And also, there's another orthopedic, I have a hard time pronouncing his name, is Awakabu?
That's his first name, but it's Nakwabi. Nakwabi. Yeah.
Oh, we have got to put unpronounceable doctor names back on the bingo card.
If you look at the middle of the page on 141, if you wouldn't mind reading into the records, it's already been admitted as an exhibit. If you wouldn't mind just reading Dana Ozweski's findings there.
I, as the attending physician, personally saw, examined, and evaluated Emma Yotrung Ryong Hernandez. Sorry if I said that wrong. Subsequent to the resident fellow and directly supervised both care and planning on 6/7/23, I've discussed the patient's management with the resident and the fellow, or resident/fellow. I agree with the resident fellow's notes. The mother was at the bedside. The patient's been recently breastfed and has not been on any vitamins. Given low vitamin D level, recommend starting by polyvisal. The patient has obvious healing corner fractures at the right proximal and distal femur and proximal tibia. The patient is currently in a long leg soft splint. She does not have any pain when moving the right hip. There's a question of a first metatarsal fracture, no discomfort or crepitus noted at the other extremities. We will see the child back in 1 week with repeat AP and lateral of the right femur, AP frog pelvis, and right tibia, AP and lateral out of the
No, so go home.
So the orthopedic got involved in this case, right? 2 of them that show up initially.
2 of them, the resident and the attending.
Yes, ma'am. It says the patient has obvious healing corner fractures at the right proximal and distal femur and proximal tibia. It says obvious healing fractures. So when this date, the fractures were not acute, they were well into a healing process.
Objection. Objection, Your Honor. He's asking her to talk about someone else's findings.
Objection.
Well, based on, you've been admitted as an expert.
Objection.
I'm sorry.
I'll let her answer section 10.
Dr. O specializes in orthopedics. That is her specialty. I mean, when I see a skeletal survey, I follow what the radiologist that is their focus, that is their specialty. Yes, I can read most x-rays, but I don't make that diagnosis, the radiologist does.
Okay. And you said the orthopedic, I believe you testified earlier that the orthopedic focuses on legs, arms, and bones, right?
Sure, any bones, except the hand.
Okay, I understand. But we're talking about bones here, right, in this case?
Sure.
So would you agree that the fractures at that time were not acute, that they were well into the healing stage?
They did look to be healing.
Okay, thank you. One more question.
Just briefly, Judge. Orders. Why were the last 5 Dr. Messner discontinued?
What it looks like, or what happens a lot of times, is sometimes all specialties will order at the same time. Typically, our practice and what we've really started to do in the past year is just our team, because we're primary ordering. But sometimes it does happen where Dr. Messner might order our APP, whoever is on at that time, nurse practitioner PA, they may order, the other teams may order. And so it looks like all those orders were put in at the same time. His just happened to be the one that the lab discontinued.
And going back to the high blood pressure, the potential indicative pain, did Emma have high blood pressure?
I mean, it was 91/74. I don't really.
At what point in time?
That was 7:10.
Okay.
When I consulted with her, and it was done at
Oh, I guess I can.
whatever time.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Going back to June.
Okay.
June, sorry.
On discharge summary, it was 101/73. And on my initial consult, it was 76/64, which is pretty normal. That was on admit. And I saw her for the tertiary, it was 103/49. A little bit high.
So the Thursday fluctuated throughout.
Yes.
I was going to the leading question. Let me further.
Oh,
All right, anything further?
here comes Dr. Messner. We're almost there.
Would it be fair to say that she had that Emma Hernandez had normal blood pressure when she came to the hospital with her parents at first?
The first exam that I did on 6/6/23, her blood pressure was normal
Okay.
at that time.
Gotcha. And then it became.
So when
elevated
she
after
arrived,
was
it was
taken away from
normal.
her
It was
parents
normal.
And admitted.
No, on day 2, which was the tertiary exam, it was a little high, and the parents were still at the bedside.
Okay, so it was a little high, and then it got higher.
On discharge, it looks similar to the other one.
But what was it on discharge?
101/73. So systolic is different. I mean, systolic is about the same. Her diastolic, the heart relaxing, is a little bit different. Is a little higher on discharge. So our orders are for them to do vital signs every 4 hours, which is not going to be in my notes. If you have a flow sheet, we can go over that, each one, but I don't put a flow sheet. It's just whatever the last blood pressure is on my note.
Okay. We do have the flow sheet, but I don't think we need to go through all of that. So I will, did you, in any of your, when Emma Hernandez came to the hospital in June of 2023, did you observe anything in your examinations of her that gave you concern for non-accidental trauma other than the fractures that the radiologist noted?
On exam, there was no bruising. There was no markings on her body on June 6th, June 7th.
Okay. And you are aware, of course, that when she came in July, that her mother had been legally prohibited from having any contact with her for a month, right?
I honestly do not know. I don't follow cases or what. I don't.
Gotcha. So you made those observations not knowing anything about the family and social history.
I only know that they were removed from the bedside the first time, but I don't know anything that happens after that typically.
Okay, so but you did meet with the aunt and uncle who brought in.
Oh, the
in
second night,
July.
yes. I did meet them.
Okay, but you didn't know anything about the DFACS plan where they had the
Objection, she says fine.
No, I'm asking a cross-examination question, Your Honor.
I think you can go into it very differently. You're providing facts here, it's not an evidence
Okay.
to this witness.
Certainly, Your Honor. So were you aware about any of the environment that Emma Hernandez was in July of 2023?
Environment, not necessarily. I mean, I know she came in with her aunt and uncle. That's about the extent of what I know.
Okay. All right, those are all my questions. Thank you very much.
All right.
They could have hammered in more
she's got another one.
that it was a month later, the other pictures.
Well, Steve's going to go again, so maybe he will. Steve's not done. Steve's not finished.
Accidental and non-accidental.
I mean,
How do you differentiate between accidental and non-accidental?
I mean, that honestly is not for me to decide. That would be our other team, our autopsy
it's
team that
never
decides if it's not
their
accidental.
job.
Well, based on your training, your education, and your experience, and you've worked in this business for a long time, you've been introduced as an expert, how would you differentiate between accidental?
With accidental injuries, you don't usually see metaphyseal injuries where it's a shearing and pulling injury.
Usually. Typically.
I was just gonna say they keep using these.
Would you agree to show?
You keep
They
using
keep
that word.
They keep using these identifiers where it's like usually, normally. Well, we're not talking about usually or normally. We're talking about this case and this baby.
This baby.
Mm.
This baby.
Yes, it's very frustrating.
Was own orthopedist, Dr. Dana Azalowski and Ozuba. They really didn't have any real concern
I don't
for
agree.
non-accidental injury based on their evaluation.
I don't agree with that. No.
Why not?
I don't think that was in their note. I don't know what they thought.
Okay.
Personally.
Well, they certainly didn't put any of that in their note. Any concerns of non-accidental injury by the orthopedics that show that initially got involved didn't seem to have any concerns for non-accidental trauma.
That is not in their note, but it typically is not in their note because that is not their diagnosis to make.
Typically.
Oh my gosh.
Child advocacy who makes that diagnosis.
Oh, it's the child abuse specialist that makes that
Yes!
determination.
That's right,
I
Nick.
forgot
Right,
because the
and that's
orthopedics
who's
have no idea about. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah,
that's
don't
who's
you
next.
know the orthopedics don't know about bone breaks if it's abuse? They only know about bone breaks if it's accidents.
That's right.
How much?
That's right.
How much you want to bet that when Dr. Messner gets on the stand, he's going to also say he didn't diagnose it?
Oh, gosh.
How much
Are we
you wanna
putting
bet?
like are we doing actual money bets or like dinner?
No, we're not doing money bets. Maybe, maybe I'd say Uber Eats, but I can't even get that out here. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Injuries, and they're also trained.
Just bragging
in
rights, I
pediatrics.
guess.
That's just as good.
That's true.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Anything else? Right there, your chief.
All right, you guys ready? Are you ready? Because it's time for Dr. Stephen Messner. Now, you have never seen, if you are not familiar with Dr. Stephen Messner, you have never seen such hubris displayed on a witness stand like this before in your damn life. It'll be some of the craziest shit you've ever seen, because we saw him in the Tim's case. Same stupid child abuse pediatrician who loves the sound of his own voice and has the most amazing, what's the word I'm looking for? Flamboyant hand gestures I think we've ever seen. And was he playing with his glasses too a lot? Was it?
Yeah,
I think he kept doing this thing.
Yes, with the swinging the glasses around. God, this guy. Oh,
And he'll
there's
answer
Carrie
questions.
Timms. There's a Carrie Timms sighting right there.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Did you
hold
hear
on.
what happened?
What?
When Stephen Messner leaves at this trial, he stops at Carrie. He stops.
There she is
And
in
he
the blue
and
dress.
he says hello. Look at her. She's looking all right.
She's looking right at him. He's walking, and he stopped and asked her how she was.
He stops and says, "Hey there."
Oh man, no.
When he's leaving. So I don't think now
absolutely
when
not.
he is leaving. Yeah, what
Absolutely
a
not.
jerk.
I hope she told him to fuck all the way off. Oh, we have to.
God,
slow
he
this
just
down.
looks like such a bundle of sticks. And like that bundle of sticks is shoved straight up his.
Yeah, is it okay to joke about having stuff shoved up? Fluxx,
Yes.
as our
Fluxx is
resident
here.
gay, is it okay
Yes.
to?
Yes.
It is okay. He walks like he has a damn rake up his butt.
Yeah.
Wait, we
He
have to
has a
back
bundle
that up.
of sticks shoved up there.
Let's watch it at regular speed because that was at 1.25. Maybe it's not that bad. No, it's still bad.
No, it's bad.
The flamboyantly, ambiguously gay doctor. Yes, that's.
I think he's wearing a girdle.
I mean,
Oh,
He needs
got
support, folks.
He
needs
he got
support
shoved
because he
in.
has no spine.
He got shoved into a locker a lot in junior high.
Yeah.
Look, that's what I have to say about that.
Raise your right hand for me, please. So swear front is actually about to be recorded.
it's.
Swear.
You can't do the back. The back makes it worse. When you
I
you
swear
just
to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. can't even hold his hand up properly.
He can't hold his hand straight for a reason.
He can't do anything straight.
Oh my goodness. There are gay men who are less gay than this dude. Like
there's definitely normal gay men. This is not one of them. This is not one of the normies. No.
Nope. This
is the one that goes to the marches.
This is not my kind of gay. This is one of the gays who would hate me. There are a lot of gays who love me. This is not one of them.
These are the ones that yell at me.
Do you want fries with that?
Oh man! I mean, I gotta see that again. It's too funny.
I need you to remain standing and raise your right hand for me, please. Sorry, swear, first.
I hope they have him swearing on a copy of The Wizard of Oz. That's what I hope. Because
somewhere over there.
This guy is a definite friend of Dorothy. That's.
Give this for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Please be seated.
So help me, Liza Minnelli.
Oh, and here's the glasses.
State your name and spell your
Oh,
last
here
name.
comes the glasses, and he's going to play with his glasses for the entire testimony. He loves himself so much. I swear to God, he needs to watch the stream, though, so that he doesn't love himself quite as much anymore. We're hoping that we're taking him down a notch or two, because I've never seen anybody love themselves this much.
He's definitely more gray than he was last time. Hopefully we had something to do with that.
Sure. So I'm Dr. Stephen Messner. Who said first name was?
Spell your last name.
Oh, it's M as in Mary, E S.
M as in Mary. We know. We know. Okay, Mary.
Nancy, E-R.
And Nancy. He used two of the gayest names ever, Mary and Nancy, to spell his name. You can't make this up. You can't.
I bet he drives a Subaru.
He's been called Mary and Nancy so many times that he just incorporates it into his name.
I'm like, he's a doctor. He should know how to say it like with the actual Mike in November, not Mary and Nancy.
Where's JKD? Where is our meme of him with the dog mask? We had a meme of him at a pride parade that was hilarious. We need the dog mask back.
Thank you. Dr. Messner, where are you employed?
I'm employed at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Unfortunately.
So I'm a child abuse pediatrician.
And what does a child abuse pediatrician do?
The pediatrician
who
abuses
babies.
children.
He steals babies. That's what he does. I'm a baby stealer.
Who specializes in child abuse. So in order to be a pediatrician, I went to medical school. I graduated at the Medical College of Virginia, and then I went into a residency, which is in pediatrics. So that's 3 years of training after medical school. And then I did that at the University of Florida down in Gainesville. And then following that, I stayed on faculty at the University of Florida, where I saw children in the.
Why is he facing the jury? Stop fucking facing the jury, you suck up. Look at him. He's not even looking at the prosecutor.
Adolescent clinic, as well as in the general pediatrics nursery, the acute clinic, and then about 60% of my time I was seeing children for concerns of child abuse and neglect. And then in 2007, I moved up here to Atlanta, to my current position where I'm with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So 100% of my practice is evaluating children for concerns of child abuse and neglect. So I'm board certified.
So in order for me to keep my job,
as well as in child abuse pediatrics.
Also, I think that people who do this should have to have children of their own. Did this guy buy a baby somewhere? Because I think you need to have a baby in order to know what child abuse is about.
I've come to the realization we have these child abuse doctors. Why don't we have adult abuse doctors that specialize in specifically
like
abuse of adults? No, yeah, just like old, people that aren't children. Why don't we have specifically
workers. I don't know. That's
but they're not. Yeah, we need like human abuse doctors.
No,
that way,
we don't need any more of these people. No, definitely
but it's just
not.
like you're trying to specialize in like physical injuries resulting from like, you know, abuse, but the physical injury, I feel like you need a psychologist, because if you bring a child in with injuries and let's say, oh, we bring in these special doctors because children are afraid, they're gonna, well, if a child's gonna lie, a doctor's not gonna know that. Bring in a psychologist to figure it out. But they never do. It's just they stop at the physical, and it's like, if you really have an investigation, you need to figure out what's going on, not just surface level. But that's all that matters to them.
Yeah, true.
There are 361 board-certified child abuse pediatricians in the U.S. There are 5 of us here in the state of Georgia.
And are you licensed to practice in the state of Georgia?
I am.
And all 5 of them are
How long have
assholes.
you been a child abuse pediatrician?
And 4 out of
So
the
I got
5 are
board
at
certified.
Showa.
So
4 out of the 5 are at Showa. Where's the other one? Do you know?
In Macon.
What's the
And
hospital?
I can't remember. It's a smaller children's hospital, but we've not had any cases come out of that we've
So
ever.
are you telling me though that there's only 5 in the whole state of Georgia? 4 of them are at Showa. And so there are hospitals that don't have any child abuse pediatricians in Georgia?
Yep.
How are they surviving all this child abuse? How are they diagnosing this?
Maybe
rash
their
of
orthopedics
child
can
abuse?
determine that.
Maybe their surgeons can figure it out.
Yeah.
board certification came out in 2009, and it's every other year. So I sat for the boards in 2011. So I've been board certified since 2011. We now have a pediatric fellowship in child abuse pediatrics, and we started that fellowship in 2012. I was the first fellowship director.
Which translates
we graduated
to the Club of Internal Admiration.
Yeah.
A scholarship program. What does that even mean? So you're out there looking for other pediatricians to become your little elves to run around.
Yeah,
at
they're
Showa
training. They're training others to walk in their footsteps.
Gross.
The ones they can groom into being baby stealers just like them.
Right, they're grooming them.
4 fellows, and we have 2 who are in training right now. So it's a 3-year training program. Let's see. So that's in conjunction with Emory School of Medicine, as well as at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So I've been I've been board certified since 2011, but I've been seeing children for concerns of child abuse and neglect prior to the board certification. So since 2004, and 100% of my time since I came up here in 2007.
And besides being a child abuse pediatrician, what other positions do you hold at Showa?
Sure. So I'm the medical director and the endowed chair for child protection at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
There's a job that doesn't need to be there.
So we are part of, our advocacy center is called the Stephanie B. Blank Center for Safe and Healthy Children. So we're one of the child advocacy centers here in the state of Georgia. Like I mentioned, there's not very many child abuse pediatricians in the state. 4 out of the 5 in the state are at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So the 5th one is down in Macon. So we do provide a lot of the medical exams for other child advocacy centers, and we do trainings to other medical providers.
That's terrifying. That this guy is training other
What exactly
people.
is your role as a child abuse pediatrician?
Sure. So it's there's multiple roles. We wind up getting involved whenever there's a concern of any type of child maltreatment. So that could be child sexual abuse, child physical abuse, medical child abuse, which is what we prefer to call like Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where some caregiver is manipulating.
The DSM-5 doesn't even have that in it anymore. There is no such thing as Munchausen syndrome by proxy. It's a fraud. It's a fake. And
That's why they're naming it something different.
I know, but it's amazing that he even admitted it, that he said, we like to call it medical abuse instead of Munchausen syndrome, but he's still equating it. He's equating medical abuse. Oh my God.
Do you know what shaken baby syndrome is now called since they've debunked shaken baby syndrome?
no.
It's now abusive head trauma.
Oh, right. Of course.
There is a case up in Michigan I've been trying to keep a tab on where it's the exact same description. They just don't say shaken baby syndrome.
Yeah.
It's
abusive head
but
trauma.
it's exactly the same symptoms they claim.
Yeah, they just don't want to say it because they know people now are on to the fact that it's bullshit and that it's lazy investigating. And that's what they just slap a label on it. Yeah, making shit up. Yes, we may now check off making shit up. Good call, chat.
The medical providers to harm the child. So we get involved either if like the child comes to our clinic, which is our advocacy center. They'll come to us either through DFACS, law enforcement, or like a pediatrician, family practice provider who has concerns about some sort of maltreatment. Then they'll refer them to our center. And then we also cover the hospitals. So we have 3 hospitals. Hugh Spalding is the smallest, and we have Scottish Rite, as well as the new Arthur and Blank Hospital. We used to see children at Eggleston before it closed. So at the hospital, we'll see children if there's a concern of, it's primarily child physical abuse. So if one of the providers, say it's a trauma team or neurosurgeon, the hospitalist, if they have concerns about injuries on that child, then they'll ask for a consult from my service. So either myself or one of my colleagues will go and complete a consult. Similar to if there was a child that they had concerns about the heart, then they'll consult the cardiologist to come in and evaluate them. If there's concerns about any form of child maltreatment, then they'll ask for a consult from my.
Nobody's perfect. Got a bingo. Congratulations. Hit up Just J Hip for a bingo prize. I'm all tapped out. Just J Hip, email him, tell him where you live. He doesn't check to see if it was on his show or mine. So he'll send you a bingo prize. Just send him an email. Send him what you want. You can pick out something from his stupid show. You know, the Clown Loser show over there. You can get a mug or something. He won't check. Don't worry. He'll send you whatever you want. A sweatshirt. Just J Hip. Email him. He will send you a bingo prize. Trust me, he doesn't check. Just tell him, hey, I won bingo and I need my prize, please. And send him your address and he'll do that. Trust me, nobody's perfect. He'll do it. He'll do it. Just go ahead and email him.
My team. We do see children at all 3 of the hospitals.
Nobody's perfect. You've already won there a few times. Perfect. Then he'll really not have any questions about it. Just email him again and be like, I won bingo again. And yeah, he'll send you whatever you want. Yeah, Volstorm, you can hit him up too. Definitely. Just send him your address, tell him you won bingo, and he'll send you something for the merch store.
But it's primarily at Arthur and Blank and at Scottish Rite because they have the PICUs, they have orthopedics, and they have neurosurgery. And so a lot of the children who we evaluate have either broken bones or head trauma. So that's why we see the bulk of the children there.
And in your years of practice as a child abuse pediatrician, how many cases have you evaluated?
It's thousands.
And have all these children been diagnosed as having been abused?
Oh, no. Actually, I pulled the numbers. So we look back over the past 3 years, so from 2022, 23, and 24. And my team, we reviewed 3,526
Are his glasses fucking purple?
cases.
Yeah,
of course they are.
They're purple tortoise shell.
3,500
Of course they are.
cases in 3 years. That's 1,000 cases a year. That's 3 a day.
I'm sure he's going to tell us, though, not all. He's going to try and make it look like, most of ours we actually don't diagnose.
Yeah. I can bet money that most of these are just them going back on. There was a child here tonight. Let's check the X-ray.
I can tell you. Nick, I can tell you this happens. This recently happened because I work close with an attorney who's awesome for these families. And she was contacted by one of our families that You Are the Power supports. And because CHOA, they went to CHOA, got an actual diagnosis with a plan moving forward for this baby, for an actual problem, was later called by one of the fellow child abuse pediatricians at CHOA on her personal cell phone to ask that they bring the baby back to CHOA because they wanted further testing. The baby was already sent home, discharged, had a plan in action, and this fella went through ER records. Just called from her personal cell number. Hey, you need to bring your baby back in. We have some more concerns.
And what happened? What did they do?
Thankfully, Doris Good, the great attorney, was like, "Do not go back. Do not go back.
Don't ever go back." Yeah, because what can they? Well, I guess they could send a sheriff to your door though if you don't go, right?
Yeah, but thankfully she was in touch with this attorney, and there was no reason for her to go back. The baby was discharged.
Did the attorney contact the hospital? Did Doris contact the hospital, or just told her not to go?
I'm not sure. I know she told her not to go.
I would like to find out for me if she ever contacted the hospital to be like, "Hey, my client says you want them to come back, and I'm letting you know we ain't coming back. So if you want to get into a big fight, let's fucking go."
Yeah.
I would like to know.
But what they are doing is it's inflating numbers to make themselves more important, and also it deflates the number of cases.
Yes.
That they actually. Damn, we have a lot of kidnapped kids. Hurry, somebody check through 200 x-rays, 200 cases. And that way it makes the number lower.
Yeah, he wants the jury to know we don't go around diagnosing all these kids as abuse. Like, he's going to make sure it's like, oh, it's rare that we do this.
Yeah, but he's lying. He's lying. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let the chat check off problem glasses. Problem glasses, because now that we've discovered their purple tortoise, I'm calling them a problem. Problem glasses. And I guess red flag. We're going to have to call red flag and
bingo.
Red flag and problem glasses all at once. Okay, Rogue says I need to check locals chat. I will do.
And then the teams actually asked us to consult on 1,122 of those, so about a third, 32%. And we made a diagnosis of abuse in 394 of those cases.
Oh, you asshole. Oh, you asshole. There are lies, damn lies, and statistics. They are, he's more or less admitting to it. They are skimming through just to find, okay, let's get that one, let's get that one, let's get that one. And then they have down to 1,100. And out of that, almost 400. Almost 400 of them.
Yeah.
They try to kidnap the baby. 1/3 of the cases.
Unbelievable.
It's insanity. That is one more than a kidnapped baby per day.
That's disgusting.
And how many of them are siblings?
That's one kidnapped baby per day of the year.
And Nick's right. Then there's siblings involved with that go in and they make every sibling get a full skeletal survey. They make the kids come in, and even when the child, like Aria, is found to have no bruises, no fractures, no problems, they still take them away from the parents.
Disgusting. What a disgusting piece of crap this guy is.
So that's,
and even with the inflated numbers,
that's
400.
That's more than one baby a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now he claims 11% of the overall. Yeah, but that's just you skimming through records.
Yes, for any child at CHOA.
Oh, Lord. How many is that everyone? I mean, every child.
That hospital needs to.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he's coming up with these numbers.
It has to be because it can't be every child who comes
mental
in
illness.
Civil. It could be every child who had an X-ray. That could be 3 years.
Yeah, we don't know. He didn't say, because CHOA sees a lot of kids for a lot of different things. There's a lot of specialty doctors there.
More or less every child who comes in, regardless if they fell off a swing or something.
Right.
Regardless, they check it just to have the big numbers so they can deflate the number of stolen children.
Uh-huh.
Gee,
3,500 cases and about 35% of the consults that we got involved in. So it's the minority of cases that we make a diagnosis of abuse in. but we, so it's not the majority of cases.
And as a part of your job, are you able to recognize child abuse versus medical conditions that can look like child abuse?
Sure. So like mimickers or
Stop saying sure. It's annoying.
Other medical conditions, absolutely. That's one of the.
He calls other diagnoses
concepts
as
that we get across.
mimickers of abuse.
Yeah, mimickers. Yeah, I caught that too. Like, well, you mean it's just, but it's just not abuse, though, Dr. Messner. It's not. It doesn't mimic abuse. It's just not abuse. Holy shit, man. God.
To our trainees, so we do a lot of education to medical students, residents, fellows. We have our own fellows who we train, as well as other medical providers throughout the state, to know what to look for. What are the telltale signs of abuse versus some other medical condition? We also do trainings, like I've done those sort of mimicker trainings to defects workers, to law enforcement, to attorneys, to judges, not just.
Oh God, he's training judges. Oh Jesus, Jesus be offense. Jesus be offense. This guy is training judges.
Yeah.
That's really dangerous, because he's an expert witness who trains judges. That should make him excluded.
Yeah, how many times has he gone up in front of the same judges that he's trained? Anybody have an answer to that? How many Jennifer, anybody ever look into who he has trained? What judges?
No, we haven't, but I mean, I can tell you that these people, I told you I went to a trial last week on Wednesday for another family in another county, in Hall County here in Georgia. And Verena Brown testified on that. Megan, the judge in that case was a very fair man. These child abuse pediatricians tell you that they specialize in this, and they are so convincing and manipulative. Like, we can see through the BS easily, but these judges, like, they're sitting there at a desk all day. They're expecting these people to be honest. They're expecting the do no harm. They're expecting these people to care about children, and they're lying. They just sit there and lie and train.
Listen, you've got to tell Spike and Ryan, they have got to get on finding what judges this guy has done trainings for, because if you ever end up in front of one of those judges, guess who gets disqualified immediately? Either the judge or him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because he can't be training a judge and then testifying in that judge's court on this thing that he trained the judge on. Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. That's a conflict of interest. He can't be training judges and then being an expert witness for the state. Fuck him. That's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay. Well, I'm making a note of it right now.
My blood pressure meds are not working.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if they want to. I understand if they want to educate prosecutors, because prosecutors will do anything for a conviction. But judges?
But judges?
Yeah.
But judges? He just said he trains judges. Which ones? Did he train that juvenile court judge in the Hernandez case? Did he train her? Because it sure seemed like
I did.
She was pro child abuse pediatrician. Georgia's a small place. I would imagine there aren't, and if there's only 5 child abuse doctors in the whole damn state, who do you think is doing the training for the judges? It's him.
Yeah, he runs the program. So of course it's him. He's taken over the program. So he's the ruler.
Yeah, we need to know what judges. This is something that should be available via Freedom of Information request. Find out which judges went to these trainings.
Georgia, but nationally and internationally.
Do you keep up with medical literature and studies on child abuse?
Yes.
Do you also have continuing medical education regarding the area of child abuse?
Yes. So in order to remain board certified in general pediatrics, as well as in any of the subspecialties, it's governed by the American Board of Pediatrics. So you have to do what's called a maintenance of certification. And I'm up to date on all of that. So I'm board certified in both in good standing.
And have you ever had the occasion to testify in court in your capacity as a child abuse pediatrician?
Yes.
How many times?
Over 200 times.
And have you ever been tendered as an expert in the field of child abuse pediatrics?
Yes.
Or at this time, the state would tender Dr. Messner as an expert in child abuse pediatrics?
Any objection?
Your Honor, our objection is to the term child abuse pediatrics. He's obviously qualified as a pediatrician. However, the issue of child abuse is the ultimate issue for the jury to determine. So we object on that basis, but we have no objection to his qualification as an expert in pediatrics. It's the name of his board certification.
I want to hit him in his stupid face. I want to hit him in his stupid face.
Look at that. He didn't even give it.
Dr. Messner, are you familiar with Emma Hernandez?
I am, yes.
And how do you know Emma Hernandez?
Sure. So I was asked to complete a child abuse consult on her back in June 7th.
Oh, here goes the glasses. The on and off with the glasses again. I cannot take this guy with his. Look at how smart I am with my glasses. Me and my glasses. On, off, on, off.
And why was she admitted?
Yeah, so she came in through the emergency room. It was after she had gone to her pediatrician's, and she had gone there with her older sister. Her mom had asked for the pediatrician to also take a look at Emma because she had a concern about the soft spot on her head as well.
Well, she
as
called
her
ahead,
leg.
Stephen. She didn't
And
just
the
show
pediatrician
up.
had concerns about her leg, so asked her to come
No,
to
the pediatrician
hospital.
didn't
So
see the
in the emergency room.
What was that?
He said the pediatrician had concerns about her leg. Well, she was the one who could barely see that it was even swollen.
Yeah, right. I thought that
she didn't.
The doctor
It was
didn't
the
even
bruise.
see it.
Yeah, it was the bruise behind the ear, and she didn't even notice her little foot that Tuckey was afraid was also looked weird, which she did end up having a fracture in her foot. But the pediatrician couldn't see it.
She had some x-rays done that showed that there were fractures in that leg, and then she got admitted. By the time I got to complete the consult, which consisted of me meeting with the mother because she was at the hospital, I had reviewed the documentation that's in our medical records. So it's electronic. It's a system called Epic, so we can pull everything up, and even pull up records from before she was in children's through a function called Care Everywhere. So I was able to see one lab result before her hospitalization. But the mom was in the room. She had already met with DFACS and law enforcement on the day that she was admitted, which was on the 6th of June. And then I did the consult on the 7th of June. And when I did the consult, mom indicated that she spoke Thai. So we had a interpreter on the what's called a Triacom, just in case mom had any questions, with what I was saying in English. Mom didn't interact with the interpreter at all, but she was on the interpreter was on the Triacom during the entire time that I was there talking with mom.
Okay. And you said that you spoke with mom. So what information are you getting from her?
Sure. So it's a lot of information. So I asked the mom, about Emma's birth, about any medical conditions that she has. She had ever had any concerns about her development, what she can serve, those sort of things. Find out the social history, which means
yes,
who
that's
all's
why we
living
brought
in
her to the
home,
hospital.
Who cares for Emma? Where does she sleep? What position does she sleep in? Ask about family history, particularly asking questions about anybody in the family who has propensity to bleed or bruise, like specifically having hemophilia, von Willebrand's disease. Anybody have problems with easily fractured bones, joint laxity, so osteogenesis imperfecta, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So I ask all of those questions, ask a review of systems, which is, how has Emma been over the past few weeks, any fevers, vomiting, anything that was abnormal, any abnormal bruising. So mom gave me those answers. Then I asked, well, why are you here? Why did you bring Emma, to your pediatrician? And that's called the history of present illness. So the history of, like, why are you here for this visit? So I got all of that history from mom, then documented that in the medical record after I completed the consult.
Okay, so tell me about what mom specifically told you about the history that you
Sure. Yeah, and I'm just gonna look at my consult note to make sure that I'm accurate. So she told me that she had that appointment on the 6th because she was worried about the soft spot in the middle of her head, and she said, and also an ear bruise. And then she said that Emma's older sister, Araya, had the appointment for an ear infection, and she asked them if they could also see Emma, which they did. And then mom backed up and said that the day prior, so on the 5th of June, 2023, she was giving Emma a bath, and she noticed that her right leg was larger than her left. So she asked the pediatrician about this during that visit, and she said that the pediatrician wasn't concerned about Emma's head, but was concerned about the leg. So she asked her to bring her to Children's Healthcare Development at Scottish Rite. And then I asked her, well, what do you know about Emma's injuries? Because at this point, she had already met with other providers, had met with law enforcement and defects, and she said that her injuries are broken fractures. And then she said that it was of her legs and her ribs.
Hang on
and
one second.
She said last night I heard that.
Okay.
So I think I touched on this one other time before, but remember they brought her in on the 6th, and Matt wasn't allowed in the beginning. The aunt and uncle come and get Aria later. Okay. And I don't know the exact time frame, but still in the middle of the night on the 6th, Matt is in the hospital room. Tuckey's in the hospital room. The nurse, probably Amber Borders, comes to the room and whispers to Tuckey to come here. I have a question about your breast milk. Whispers to her. So Tuckey leaves the room. Matt is in the room with baby Emma in the middle of the night. That's when DFACS, that's when Sarah Eller and the investigator, the police, take Tuckey into another room and interrogate her without Matt. They lied to her. They told her, we have a question about your breast milk. So Matt wakes up and he's like, where's my wife? And nurses were like, I don't know. We don't know where your wife is. And she was being interrogated alone without an interpreter and without her husband.
Wow.
But he makes it sound like, oh, we had this interpreter. It was on a little machine. And Tuckey said that it didn't even speak proper Thai. So she couldn't use it.
Oh my God. Of course.
So they're just it all. That's Matt's biggest thing. This all started from lies. Like it was like from a lie to a lie to a lie to a lie. Even like come here, we have a question about your breast milk.
Again, that's so
Crazy.
garbage. This is why I say that parents, when they're under investigation for child abuse in these hospitals, they need to be told that they're under investigation so that they can get a lawyer. They need to be Mirandized. They have a right not to incriminate themselves. But these hospitals get around it by lying, and they shouldn't be able to. That's what cops used to do. Cops used to do that to people too before the Miranda laws came around. Now they can't. They have to Mirandize you when you're under investigation for something. Yeah, this is bullshit.
The detectives say the finger too. And she indicated to me that was Detective Cooper from Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. And then I asked her, well, how could this happen? Did anything happen to Emma? And she said, no, she didn't have any falls or drops. And she specifically said that she would never put her in a position where she could drop. And then I asked, do you co-sleep with Emma? Does anybody sleep with Emma? And she said they didn't, and she's worried about her safety. When I was asking mom about the bruise that she said she saw on the ear, she said she noticed it a week ago when she was breastfeeding Emma, and she thought that maybe it was from feeding her. And she told the dad to make an appointment with the doctor. But then when Emma was seen by the doctor, the bruise had already gone away. And she showed me a picture of this, and I was there with our DFACS liaison, Charity Kemp. And so Charity asked her to text that picture to her, and which she did, and it shows a pretty significant bruise, not on the ear, actually, it's on the scalp.
Stranger States Exhibit 1, is this the photograph you're referring
It
to?
is, yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, continue.
And then I asked her about any other bruises she had seen, and she said that she saw one on Emma's eyelid, and she thought maybe Emma had scratched herself. And then she said she saw one on her neck and on her torso or trunk. She said that was maybe from the seatbelt, from the car seat. And she said that those lasted for about 4 days. And she said that she didn't have any pictures of any of those bruises.
And she specifically characterized these as bruises?
That's correct.
All right. Did you ever inquire as to who Emma's caregivers were?
I did, yeah. So Mom said that she's the primary caregiver. The maternal aunt mainly helps out with the older sister, Araya, and maternal aunt's name is Hanyarat Schult. And then Mom said that Dad would help out with feeding Emma during the night for the first 2 months, but now he doesn't participate as much. She said that she did make this comment about Araya, the 3-year-old sister, if maybe she had caused the injuries because she's
Araya?
inactive.
Her name is not Araya. It's
No,
Aria.
I was gonna say, who's Araya?
It's Aria.
That
can't even
seems
read.
we haven't heard about Araya yet.
Who plays close to Emma. And she says she's sometimes a little bit rough. And I asked her, like, what does she mean by that? And she says when she tries to play with Emma, and then she kind of demonstrated pulling on her hands. The other caregivers, besides the mother, father, she does not go to daycare. Mom stays home with the children.
Yeah, so obviously that's a sign of
Those are the only ones
abuse.
that she had told me about.
Yeah.
And
The state hates
after,
when kids aren't in daycare.
Yeah, they
go
do.
back to
They really hate when moms take care of babies, it
That there's
seems.
anything wrong
Yeah.
with her pregnancy or that she had any pregnancy complications.
No,
Did she indicate that she had any problems during delivery?
no,
Did she indicate that there was any family history of genetic issues?
no.
Were those
Taki was
questions
born
asked?
in a hut
Yes, I asked
in
her
the jungle
specifically. So she said
in
that
Thailand. She was born in her parents' house. She doesn't have any family history.
Oh my
Like,
God.
he's a liar.
Oh my God.
she's either 38 or 39 weeks gestational age, which is term, that she was born by vaginal delivery, no complications. And was at Northside and Cumming, went home with Mom. And I always ask this question this way because sometimes parents they may not think that something is maybe wrong with the baby. So I always ask, like, did you go home on any medicines or on any monitors? And she said no. So that's why I asked that question.
I
that
talk
way.
to them like they're
And then
stupid.
she follows
That's what I talk to
regularly
parents
at
like they're
Sunshine Pediatrics
stupid.
in Cumming.
Of course.
What the heck
Because
is that about?
he talks to everybody like they're stupid. Can't you tell? He's talking to the jury like they're stupid. So why should it be any different when he talks to parents?
And then the family history, like I mentioned earlier, I asked those specific questions about bleeding, bruising, bone issues, problems with the connective tissues. My mom indicated no.
I think you also asked a question about co-sleeping.
Correct.
Was there any indication, or did she ever tell you that they co-slept?
No. She
No,
said
she didn't. He already said that. Are you not paying attention?
Ashton
she sleeps in a
answered.
bassinet
Ashton
on her
answered.
back, which is the preferred position for a baby.
And
Yeah,
what
they
about
hate
family history? What did
co-sleeping
she say
too.
about family history?
Oh, that was the questions that I asked about the bleeding, bruising, bones, and connective tissue issues. And she said that there was no family history.
I co-slept, but I would never have told any doctor that because
No, I
nope.
wouldn't either.
But it was the easiest way to not wake up all night.
To love
and-
your baby, to love on your baby and be with
and
them,
for them to
feed
and for them to sleep, for them to actually get sleep and be able to go to sleep and stay asleep.
Do that
sickens
on
me
her
the way
side
they
of the
act like
family.
it's a crime.
Yeah, I
What about
know.
diet? How is the child fed?
I mean, the truth is, unless you drink alcohol or are doing drugs or something, you're highly unlikely to roll over on your baby in the middle of the night. You just
Right.
are. You're highly unlikely. They've done
You're
studies
very
now.
alert.
You're very
there,
alert.
you're
Oh God,
present with your baby.
I was half asleep the whole time. I mean, because any slight movement from my husband would make me punch him immediately. Like, stay on your side.
That's exactly right.
Any slight movement towards me, I would be like, boom, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been a mother, but I've had a kitten and it slept right next to me. And I shit you not, I was so scared of I slept okay, but you're hyper aware of the tiny little thing that you can, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, are you still breathing? And you're like, okay, still breathing.
Every noise they make, you're checking on them. Every single time they move, you're checking on them. But see, it's so much easier though than having to get up, and you're doing that anyway all night with the baby monitor.
It's not their business. It is not their business where your baby is sleeping.
That is not their business. That is thank you for saying that.
Yeah, so she's currently
it's weird they want to know.
But for the first 2 months, she was getting formula along with the breast milk. And she was just over 2 months when I saw her.
Now, after speaking to the mom, did you do anything else after that?
Yeah. So I can't recall if I did the physical exam. I think I did the physical exam prior to speaking with mom. So I examined Emma. So that consists of a head to toe examination of her. I had reviewed all of the imaging studies that were in the computer, as well as all the lab work that had come back. And then I sat down and obtained that history from mom.
Okay, so you did a physical exam of the child?
Correct.
And what, if anything, did you notice?
That she was wearing a long splint on her right leg. So that was already placed due to the fractures. That was really the only significant physical exam finding on my exam.
And you said that you also reviewed labs and say X-ray results, radiographs?
Correct.
And tell me about what you observed in those records.
Sure. So, like I said, with the Care Everywhere pulls in old labs, so I saw that there was a sweat chloride test that was done back in April 13th of 2023. That's a test that we do to check for cystic fibrosis, and that was completely normal. And that was done because the newborn screen, which is a screening test, came back abnormal. So the next thing that you would do is the sweat chloride. So this rules out that she has cystic fibrosis.
Sticky, did I miss a what if anything? Sticky says I missed a what if anything, so go ahead and check that off.
On the she had trauma labs which were done, so that's standard. When we have children who come in, if they're less than 6 months of age, we will get, and there's any kind of physical findings of trauma, and in her case, there was the swelling of the leg, so they got the X-rays. Once they saw the fractures of that femur, then that triggered what we call the non-accidental trauma pathway. And that is something that we developed with the emergency room physicians to make sure that all of these children are getting.
And the doctors from Germany from World War II, maybe? That's who developed that path?
Oh my goodness, maybe.
Holy shit.
And they came up with this path to make sure that all of these children were getting the same workup. In other words, I'm justifying my job here.
And that
so much money and resources.
We started that early on in my career at Children's. There was a little baby who I was seeing in consult, and that baby wound up being a fatality. And when I looked back, I saw that child had come in with a femur fracture and only had X-rays of that leg. Didn't get the full skeletal survey.
Objection relevance. Objection relevance. He's talking about a completely different case. I don't want to hear about a fatality, and I don't want to feel sorry for you and your bullshit. Now this is why you do your protocol. Object.
That
relevant.
Because one baby had a broken femur, and that one case was a fatality. Now all cases are fatalities that we need to watch out for. Are you fucking...
This is objectionable. I think they should be objecting based on relevance here. I don't see what this other baby's case has to do with Emma Hernandez in any way whatsoever. Fuck that. Object. Because now he's letting the jury think, oh, well, what if it was, what if,
right.
What,
right.
You know,
it's emotional manipulation.
There's a reason for them to do, they have to do it because what if?
So we started
all the time.
Something that we do every Wednesday, which is called trauma rounds. And that's when we review all of these cases with.
Oh, you remember the every Wednesday trauma rounds with Jameson. Everyone remembers that when Catherine asked specifically, so on what date did you guys discuss Jameson Timms? It's like, oh, we don't know. We discuss dozens of cases every week. So they discuss these cases. And what's the point, Mr. Messner? Because you don't even remember when you talk about these kids.
Yeah.
They don't take notes, Megan. There's no notes of these meetings and these consults they have together. They don't write anything down. What's the point of them?
Why would they do that? Then they would have to be accountable for that later.
Yeah.
Room physicians, the rest of my team, the social workers from the emergency room. There's a whole host of folks who are on there. That's to make sure that that's how we develop this non-accidental trauma pathway. It was a result of that. So when Emma came in, it triggered the non-accidental trauma pathway. And so that includes lab studies. So it's a series of labs. They're all drawn from blood and one from the urine. Looking for other forms of, signs of trauma. In her case, she had elevated D-dimers, which is something that we would expect with having fractures, as well as a slightly elevated fibrinogen. The rest of her levels were normal. So there wasn't an indication that there was injury like to the liver or to the pancreas. The urine was normal as well. We did check for her bone health, and that had already come back. Her vitamin D level was in the deficient range, so it was less than 20, but we see that all the time.
But abnormal is normal.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The other parts of that test to check for the bone health is to look at, was there a response to having a low vitamin D level? And there wasn't. So the parathyroid hormone was normal, the calcium levels were normal, the magnesium, phosphorus levels, those were all normal. So there wasn't any kind of lab finding that would go along with a problem with the bones. And then we look at the x-rays to see if there's any changes, what we would call like metabolic bone disease, changes on the bones. And there was not. So it's just a low vitamin D level. It is not rickets. It's something that we see very frequently.
Minimizing everything important.
The other tests that I had access to at the time were a head CT, which thankfully showed that her brain was fine. There was no blood around her brain, but there was some soft tissue swelling. So you can see that in the scalp. We had what's called a skeletal survey. So that's x-rays of all the bones in the body.
Megan, do you hear that? So what did Tuckey bring her baby into the doctor for? She was worried about the soft spot on her head, worried about the swollen leg. Pediatrician saw nothing with her head, right? Amber Borders noted nothing with her head.
Nothing with her head.
But the CT showed soft tissue swelling. So there was, and Tuckey saw it. The mother noted it. She could see it in her baby.
Maybe the reason why all of these, why this happened is because they don't like being shown up by an immigrant mother.
Yeah.
Without a medical degree, who saw what was wrong and none of them did. I swear a lot of this stuff has to do with racism. I swear to God.
Yeah.
And that was significant for a number of fractures. What we saw was on the chest that there were healing fractures of the left ribs, 3, 4, 6, and possibly 8. And the 3, 4, and 6 were on the side. The 8th one was on the front. There were also fractures that we call classic metaphyseal lesions. And those are, rib fractures and classic metaphyseal lesions are highly specific for child abuse in a child less than 1 year of age in the absence of any kind of trauma history. It's because the way that you get those fractures, you get the rib fractures from a squeezing force about the chest. The way you get the corner fractures or the classic metaphyseal lesions is from either the arms and legs like flailing about, and you get the forces concentrated at those joints. So most commonly we see this about the knee. So at what we say the distal femur, which is like the knee end of the thigh bone, or the proximal tibia, which is the knee end of the shin bone. So most common places that we see those kind of fractures, and then up at the shoulder and humerus. And on Emma, we saw that she had classic metaphyseal lesions of the right femur up at the hip, the right femur down at the knee, the right tibia up at the knee, and then in the foot, there was a change to the bone on the inner sole side, so like on the big toe side of the foot bone called the metatarsal. There was a change there. So based on what I saw on those X-rays, what the mother told me about this past history of this bruise, I saw the picture of the bruise. She told me about other bruises. And we had checked for any kind of bleeding disorders. We did what's called a TIC screen. That's where the D-dimers came back elevated. Everything else was fine on that. Platelet count was fine. It was actually elevated because it's an acute phase reaction. So in setting of trauma, your platelets will kind of go up because your body's responding to that trauma. So based off of all of that, the mom telling me that there was no history of trauma, I'm seeing rib fractures, which are highly specific for abuse, corner fractures, which are highly specific for abuse, picture of a bruise on the scalp. I put in my consult note that these are consistent with child physical abuse. So that's all documented in my consult report based off of all of that history gathering, my physical exam, all of the laboratory data, all of the imaging data that we had at that time.
And was that your diagnosis?
It was, yes, and still is, yes.
And has the child had any testing done for osteogenesis imperfecta?
Yes, so I ordered that. So there is a blood test that we can send off. Early in my career, we couldn't do a blood test. You'd actually have to do a skin biopsy and send it off. Now we do blood testing. So the reason that we send that is because I know that it's going to be asked. It's going to come up, especially in court. I didn't have a high clinical suspicion for it because her bones look normal. These are not fractures that we see in kids who have osteogenesis imperfecta. You don't get corner fractures. Where we see kids fracture with OI, as we call it, is once they start becoming more mobile, you start to see that their weight-bearing bones, so like their thigh bone, the femur, starts to bend. They wind up getting fractures there. In the long bones is the most common place where they're going to get it. It's not going to be at the ends of the bones where you have the growth plate, which is where her fractures were, and then the rib fractures. So sent that off. We send it to a lab at the University of Washington because they have the largest database of patients who they've looked at for any kind of.
Is annoying hand gestures on the bingo card still? I feel like I took those off.
No,
it is.
Read it.
I think you left it on.
I'm calling it annoying. I've had it.
Concerns of osteogenesis imperfecta. And the reason we do that is because if you use a different lab that doesn't have as many folks in their database, if they see a little change in a gene, they may not know how to interpret that. They may say, well, there's this change here, but we don't know if that is causing any kind of problems to the body. So since they have the largest database, that's who our geneticists recommend that we use. So we always send it there. And that came back. It takes...
Chat chooses violence to this witness. All right, Chat, are you ready to say you hate this witness? I think we're ready to call Chat hates witness.
A couple months to come back, or maybe 4 to 6 weeks if we're on the lucky side. But it takes time to come back. And that did return, and everything on that in our screen for osteogenesis imperfecta, the recommended screen, did come back as no abnormalities. So we
2
have that
gene
genetic
codes.
screen.
That's what
Then-
they send. So it's actually 3. It's the first 3 gene codes. And that's what they send off. And then they can sit there and tell them that we looked for OI for her and everything's fine. And remember with Jameson, one of them did come back with an abnormality.
But
And that was
wasn't
normal.
abnormal.
That was normal.
It wasn't abnormal enough.
God.
I hate them all. I hate them all so much.
Okay, we all hate. Well, it's the witness. Do we hate the prosecutor? Well, we already hate the prosecutor. That should
We
be the
hate
first-
her for calling him.
Yes,
that's true.
We also had subsequent x-rays. So whenever we get a skeletal survey, we get what we call a follow-up skeletal survey, or a
We can
FUSS.
do more radiation
And
on
we
the
get
baby.
that in about 2 to 3 weeks. And so I recommended that she come back and get this follow-up skeletal survey. And the reason we do that is because sometimes we'll miss very subtle fractures on the initial x-rays. And then we give the body time to start healing. And then you can pick it up much more easily on the follow-up x-rays. And so we did that, and we actually were able to pick up, so that was done on
What's the point of
June
that? Like,
23rd.
I just thought about that. So they do a skeletal survey again 2 weeks later because he claims, and they did this with Jameson, just in case they missed anything really small and minor. If you miss something small and minor, there's nothing needed to take care of that. You're not going to put any cast, you're not going to splint them. It's just going to already be healing. So that doesn't make any sense. They're doing it just so they can add more fractures to the list of non-accidental trauma. It's not for the safety of the child. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we're just going to go see if we missed anything. Well, if you missed anything, it'd be really big, right? He's saying minor fractures that we might have missed on the first one. So that is literally just to add more fractures that this child has. It's not to actually take care of the child. Because if it's so minor, you're not going to splint that. You can't splint minor rib fractures. There's nothing you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's just to add to the list of, oh, we found more fractures on this child so that it's more indictment charges against the parents.
And it's also again, I hate to bring it up again, but it's more like insurance charges. It's like literally the most money and the most they can take away from the parents, not just freedom, but money and children. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I had a kid raid. Thank you for keeping that going.
3rd, 2023. And we also had her come to our clinic, and she was seen by one of my colleagues. On that one, we picked up an additional corner fracture, and then the radiologist went back and looked at the initial skeletal survey and said, oh yeah, it was there. It was just very subtle. And that was on the distal left tibia. So that's the shin bone down by the ankle. So the ankle end of the left tibia. We saw continued healing of that, of the rib fractures, as well as the other corner fractures and that fracture in the foot. So confirmed that there was that fracture in the foot. The only thing that we didn't see was that possible 8th rib fracture. So we didn't feel comfortable saying that that was a real finding on the initial skeletal survey. So those were the follow-up labs that were done. But then Emma did wind up coming back to the hospital in July. So she came back mid-July, and she had an additional workup for child physical abuse at that time. So she got another skeletal survey on July 11th, and then we did the follow-up for that one on July 31st. So she had a total of 4 skeletal surveys, so x-rays of all the bones in the body. Except for the one in June, the second one in June where we picked up that corner fracture of the distal left tibia, which was, when you looked at the first one on the 6th, it was there. We didn't pick up any new fractures. So that would also go against like having any kind of problem with your bones, because it wouldn't matter what environment you're in. If you have a problem with your bones, you're going to continue to fracture as you become more mobile.
Wrong.
typically we're not getting full skeletal surveys. In her case, we did because she presented in July with bruising on her feet, on the soles of her feet and on her leg. So that's why the workup was done again.
And was there any evidence of these being birth injuries?
No.
And how do you know that?
Yeah. So the corner fractures were all recent. We even had swelling that was like the mom reported that swelling, the pediatrician detected that swelling on that right leg. These were recent fractures in the extremities. And then the rib fractures.
Recent, but also in the state of healing.
She was already
more than weeks old.
Right. Recent, but also healing. Uh-huh. Okay. Sure. Sure,
Okay.
Dan. How do we decide recent but also healing? Okay.
2 months old. You'd expect that any kind of birth related fracture.
Also, she was 2 months old?
Almost completely healed.
Didn't the other lady say she was 8 months old?
Yes.
By
and I believe
accident, yeah.
I believe she was 3 months old, wasn't she? So he didn't get it right either.
The first time she was, and then in July,
okay.
She's a little bit older.
Gotcha.
Healed by that point, if not completely healed. We don't see rib fractures in isolation with birth trauma, because when you wind up getting the fractures from birth, it's because you're having, usually it's like a shoulder, what we call shoulder dystocia. So if you're coming out head first, and the widest part is your shoulder girdle. So as you're birthing and trying to get the shoulders through, if you wind up getting a squeezing force there, you wind up breaking the clavicle. It's the most common bone that we see being fractured during birth. Sometimes we'll see like an arm or a leg actually get broken, but it's usually the clavicle. When we see rib fractures that have occurred during birth, it's described as a traumatic birth. There's usually some instrumentation, but when we see that, all the literature shows that you also have the clavicle being broken on the same side. So she never had, we didn't see any clavicle fracture. So I can say confidence that these are not birth-related injuries because they're at different points in time, not injuries that we see from birth.
I hate him.
In this pattern. And then we also had
so very much
cutaneous injuries as well. We had this
so
bruising
very much
that was on the scalp behind the ear. And then when she came back in July, then we had additional bruising. So none of that would be birth related. I did review her birth records. I did see that they did document that she had some bruising on her face during birth, but that was not what I was making my diagnosis on.
And so when you diagnosed this as non-accidental trauma, what were you basing it off of?
Sure, so multiple things. So it was the history that the mom provided, the photo that the mom showed me of the bruise behind the ear, the developmental capabilities of
the photo that these monsters showed me that didn't have to show me of their horrible abuse. That really convinced me, because it's totally normal for abusers to show you photos of the abuse they're doing.
And keep evidence of it.
Is chat gives Megan a migraine on the bingo? Because I need it. I need that to be a thing.
2-month-old, and what she told me that Emma was able to do, she told me that
there go the glasses again.
She's able to reach, follow, she smiles, she doesn't like tummy time, and that was really it, which is fine for a 2-month-old. So I combine that with the history that the mom provided of no trauma, the lab values that we have, the locations, the specificity of these kind of fractures that I'm seeing on the x-rays. And then, knowing the kind of forces that are required to cause those types of fractures, that she can't self-generate these. So it has to be an external force to her body to create these, because this is all trauma. Mom reported the 3-year-old cannot put their hands around a child's, infant's chest and squeeze to cause rib fractures, or, they don't weigh enough. They all down on them.
Then why do they continually ask them to say that Aria did it?
Yeah.
Weren't they like, well, was she jumping on the bed and maybe she jumped on the baby?
That's the thing, is it's like they ask these questions and then parents are kind of like, well, there was this time where Aria took the baby's hands and did like that. I mean, you're talking about 3-year-olds.
But then they're going to say, well, but she's not strong enough to cause those kinds of...
she
So
can't
they're
do that.
obviously lying.
Cause rib fracture.
Oh, I
They don't have
hate
the strength to pull on the arms and or in her case in the legs, or have them flip about, or pick her up and cause those legs to flip around. There was no other history that was provided to me of any kind of trauma. Mom specifically said she didn't fall or drop, and I wouldn't expect to see these kind of injuries from a fall or a drop. It was based on all of that. Then it was.
So even if Tuckey
because she
said,
came
yeah,
back.
I did drop the baby. I did. I dropped the baby. It still wouldn't have been enough because
Wouldn't
he
have been
said,
enough
like,
for him. Yeah, he didn't. This
So,
couldn't
there
have
you
been
have it,
that.
folks.
Wow.
At the 2-3 week mark for that follow-up skeletal survey, reconfirmed things that we didn't have any additional new injuries. Got the OI testing back, and that reconfirmed that there was nothing genetic, and she's been growing and developing well. So there's nothing inherently wrong with her body. All of those things factored into my initial diagnosis, and then my continued statement that diagnosis is to a reasonable degree of medical certainty that that's what she suffered from, that she was a victim of child physical abuse on at least 2 separate occasions.
Are these fractures that can be, you kind of touched on it, but are these fractures that can be caused by a parent trying to do bicycles to let gas out on this child?
No. So to get a corner fracture, you need to have like either a twisting or a yanking force. So you wouldn't get that from bicycling. When a bone breaks, like the ribs, these corner fractures, it's going to hurt because there's nerves that if anyone's broken a bone, especially a rib, that really hurts and you can't stabilize that when you're taking a breath. It's painful. So at the time when the fractures occurred, I would expect Emma to exhibit signs of pain. And if anybody was in that room,
But she even
when
brought
those fractures occurred,
she brought Emma to all of her well checkups. So how they love to say, oh, everyone in the room would know when the baby had a fracture because the baby would be in pain. They want the jury to think like that. But what about when the doctor was evaluating Emma? Even on that day, on June 6th, Emma wasn't crying. So to say, well, if the baby has broken bones, she's definitely going to be crying. She's going to be in pain. But
Yeah,
she wasn't, even with the pediatrician.
But she wasn't. And it's not disputed that she had these fractures.
Right.
God, this is so fucking annoying.
I hate all of these people.
This wouldn't be something that she would be laughing or giggling about when those forces were applied to her body. So I would expect that whoever caused the injuries would recognize that this was painful to her, and if anybody was around and saw that, they would recognize that that was a painful action to place on Emma's body.
And are these, so let me go back. Have you seen children with metabolic bone disease or other conditions of the bone?
Yes.
And based on your review of all the medical labs as well as surveys, did Emma exhibit any of those similarities?
No.
What is the purpose of getting the bone lab and the trauma lab done?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, we get all of the trauma labs. We want to make sure that we're evaluating her entire body, making sure that we're not missing anything. So that's why we do all of those trauma labs, and that's why it's built into our pathway. We get the bone labs because we want to assess the bone health. to make a diagnosis of like if there's a problem with the bones, we'd expect to see we're going to have, for instance, for Emma, because she has a low vitamin D. That in isolation indicates that her vitamin D level is low. It doesn't indicate that she has what we call rickets. She doesn't have a systemic response to that low vitamin D, where her body is trying to pull the calcium out of the bones to keep the levels higher, at normal levels in the blood. The way that happens is your parathyroid hormone goes up, first was normal, and then you start leaching the calcium from the bone. And if you had that, you would see changes to all the bones because
I missed this super chat. Sorry, Carol says, I'm just wondering if she's going to have any repercussions for her statement on a stand. It's all hogwash. No, there will be no repercussions for anything said on the stand. Nothing. For sure. Litigation privilege. L Flocking Lou, member for 20 months, says I get to watch a live and the first thing I hear is for fuck's sake. You're going to hear that a lot here. This trial is frustrating.
It's a change in how your body is responding to that. It wouldn't just be isolated that you have a change at the end of your, like your left tibia and just around your right knee. You would get changes. We look for it at the wrists, in particular, where you wind up getting cupping and fraying because you're seeing that the bone is being demineralized. So there's not anything to indicate that she has any kind of metabolic
number vitamin
disease.
D would he
like I mentioned,
think that would start happening at? Because according to Brenna Brown last week, you have to have a level 6 to be like, now it's noticeable, now it's rickets. And Emma's was a 15. And the baby for the trial last week was a 13.
Oh, wow.
The Freeman family that we support, his levels was a 9. So like at what point do you know what I'm saying?
6. It's 6, Jennifer.
Apparently.
6.
Like everything's fine until it hits 6.
By the way, the new guidelines for vitamin D is 50, not 20.
Really?
50. Yeah. Talk to any neurologist that knows what they're talking about, and they will tell you, we prefer to see vitamin D levels at 50 or above.
Yeah,
so according to them, anything under 50, and they want vitamin D. And that's
There's
something that like
also-
my pediatrician hadn't even heard yet. So, people don't agree. Doctors do not agree on this.
Well, it's almost like everybody's body's different. It's almost like everybody's body responds differently to things and is, not the same. Maybe like generally, but what do I know?
Well, he also loves to say that they tested for OI, and if anyone can find anything different, feel free to chime in. But from my research, there's at least 19 genes associated with OI. I've looked at every one of these families,
and they only
genes,
did 3.
They do 3. They do 3. So, like, what about the other genes? You're not testing for those, and you're telling a courtroom that you are.
That's absurd.
The whole thing's absurd, Megan.
There's nothing to indicate that she has osteogenesis imperfecta, the most common genetic condition that we talk about in child abuse when we talk about fractures. So that's why we're looking for those things.
So she doesn't have the number 1 cause, but
any other,
who knows about the other causes?
Medical conditions. And these are traumatic.
The other many. Yeah, it's like okay,
that's
well,
not
the
the only.
common. There's others. There's others, and you have to have 30% of your bones demineralized to be seen on an X-ray. We've heard that multiple times now. So what if it's like 33%? She's almost at the 30%. You're not going to see it yet on these X-rays. But they claim that everything looks healthy and normal.
I hate these people. I hate them very much.
Injury, so it's trauma to the body. So what is that trauma? I have yet to be told about some type of significant trauma to her body that would generate these type of forces to cause these multiple fractures, as well as the bruises that, I saw on the picture, as well as what we saw when she came back when my fellow and one of my other colleagues saw and evaluated Emma. So Emma was actually evaluated by not just myself during that initial hospitalization, and she was seen by my colleague in the clinic, and then she was seen by our senior fellow with the other child abuse pediatrician when she was readmitted in July. So she was actually seen by all three of the child abuse pediatricians who were covering, as well as one of our fellows.
Now going back to the force apply, is there a difference between baby bones and adult bones?
Yeah, there is. So we weren't all born at this height, right? So your bones have to be able to grow. So infant bones have open growth plates.
Hey, Megan, I have to clock out now.
A higher percentage of.
But I will see you guys tomorrow.
That's right, because you have stuff to do, and it is 3:30. We have been going for 2.5 hours. I will let you go, Fluxx, and I think we'll call it a day here and come back and do all Dr. Messner all day tomorrow. That should be fun. Tomorrow, we will not be back here.
Wonderful.
I have to do 2 p.m. tomorrow because I have a afternoon appointment. So if you guys can be here at 2, that would be great. If that's a problem, let me know.
No, I can be here.
Poor Nick had to go to work. So he's on like a work call or something. So he doesn't know what's going on, but that's okay. We'll talk to him. I guess I should just remove him from the screen. All right, Fluxx, you take care. I'll see you tomorrow.
All righty. Be excellent, guys. Bye.
Later. All right. I think that's it for today. We will be back here tomorrow at 2. Thanks for being here, chat, and for caring about this case. Don't forget to check out the Hernandez fundraiser. You can find it linked in the description of this video. And we will be back tomorrow to play more bingo. If you won bingo today, make sure you contact Just J Hip. He will send you a bingo prize. He doesn't keep track of whose show you're on. He'll just send it. And he won't ask any questions, we don't think. And if he does ask any questions, just tell him, I don't know, just lie. Just lie. I'm going to jail anyway, apparently, according to some. So what's one more fraud, really? Jen, we'll be back at this tomorrow. And Messner's Cross is going to be great.
I'm so excited.
I know. We're not going to get to it today, though. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care. See you tomorrow.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take
we're
a
trying
look.
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that.